Major League Baseball, the National Football League, and NASCAR. This is a presentation of Fox Sports.
Welcome to the Chevy MLB All Star pregame show on Fox. Chevy, an American revolution.
Can you believe they tried to keep these kids out of the league?
The Bad News Bears are a collection of players brought together by proximity. I'm going to throw you something called a screwball. That's going to look like it's coming right at you, so you don't bail out. You got to stick in there. All right, Tubby. It's all right, kid. You had a helmet on. Imagine if you didn't. Who eventually grow together as a team. And all my years, I got to tell you, this is my favorite team. But tonight's story is about two teams brought together by talent. The greatest collection of baseball talent in the world on one field right here in Detroit. And how appropriate to be here in the Motor City for America's pastime, since this is where America's greatest automobiles were born.
The sweet, smooth, and sassy 1957 Chevrolet. The car that goes them all one better.
And just as with classic cars, it all starts with a goal to be great.
Low drive, deep right field, it's 3-2. Nobody even turns to look. Home run.
And then you formulate a plan to design a winner. A perfect machine with all of its parts coming together to work as one.
Comerica, fiery new creation from Chevrolet.
Pure power. Premier precision. Sensational speed. Grace. Quickness. The guts to dream the American dream. Strategy to win when it counts. The American game in a real American town, played by the world's greatest players. The 2005 All Star Game. This year's model is a true machine to marvel at.
Deep right center field. The American League is on top.
We are 2 miles from the hallowed grounds and a half a lifetime away, but still echoes of Reggie's legendary shot lingers. 34 years removed, the All-Star Game returns to the Motor City, and we wonder, what will it do for an encore? That will be up to Comerica, the new Tiger Stadium, and of course, the best 68 players baseball has to offer. Kevin Kennedy, Jeannie Zelasco, proud to welcome you to a celebration of baseball and living proof. There is a lot of young talent in the game today. Kevin Kennedy, especially the starters we'll see on the mound.
Yeah, the two best records in baseball, the White Sox and the Cardinals. Therefore, their starters get rewarded in this game. Mark Burley starting for the American League deserves it. He pitched Saturday, may only go 1 inning, we'll see, but nonetheless, definitely deserves his start. The White Sox have been phenomenal. Chris Carpenter for the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, he pitched on Wednesday, 13 wins, well-deserved for him. That means, can he go at least 2 innings? Yes, maybe 3, who knows? If Tony La Russa wants the pride back in the National League.
Yeah, that's for Mr. La Russa. All right, he's been here before. He was an all-star manager 3 times before baseball started using the game to determine home field advantage, and he will tell you he never lost then, and he doesn't intend to start now.
In my opinion, I don't think that what you do is you talk to your all-star team about the home field advantage. What you talk to them about is shouting rights. You know, for years, it's American League against National League. American League's been beating us. I think these guys get more fired about just trying to win the stinking game. And that's what we're going to push, just the competition.
Tony knows that home field advantage certainly means a lot in the World Series. He saw that by not being able to split the first 2 games at Fenway last year. But he wants that pride back I was talking about. Why? Because the American League has won this game 7 straight times.
All right, other controversy for our other manager. Think what you will of Kenny Rogers' behavior. As unprofessional as he was in attacking the cameraman, he showed class and took the shots at the All-Star media session, backing up Terry Francona's belief one incident should not overshadow a 26-year career.
He did what he did. The league did what they did. They suspended him for 20 games. He appealed the suspension. It will be handled later in the year. So he's eligible to pitch in the All-Star game. He made a mistake. He's paying a price through baseball's eyes, and we'll move on. I don't want to make light of it, disrespect anybody. I don't want to make more of it either.
Listen, I managed Kenny Rogers. I know what he's all about. It's uncharacteristic what he did. What I said on the Saturday pregame show, the decision can't be the media's. It's not mine. It's not the Texas Rangers. It's not MLB. It's Kenny Rogers. He made that decision. He's here today. He has to accept his responsibility. He's done that, and let's move forward.
He felt beholden to the players. They picked him. All right, another player who apparently didn't feel beholden, Pedro Martinez, who said it was a Mets decision for him to not be here.
That's a different story as far as I'm concerned. My understanding was Omar Minaya tried to get him to come here. Listen, Omar went out and gave him 4 years when nobody else would. You know, Pedro's been an All-Star 7 times, only showed up 3 times. What about those other 3 times he didn't go besides tonight? He needs to be here, not only for his teammates, his peers wanted him here. It's important for the National League home field advantage. Yes, he pitched on Sunday. Today could be his throw day. And more than all that, the fans want to see him here. They deserve to, but he's home.
Yeah, how important is this game? John Smoltz approached his manager, Bobby Cox, a struggling Braves team, really, with injuries, to say, look, I will pitch on short rest. And Bobby Cox said, absolutely not. You have an all-star game to worry about. That's how important it is. Then, of course, there's David Eckstein. Nothing could keep him away, not even the disturbing news from home. More complications for his father and Whitey Eckstein's failing kidneys. But then again, it was Dad who instilled the dedication that Tony La Russa has come to appreciate.
I mean, and he's a talented guy, but he is one of the toughest-minded players I have ever been around. I mean, he's absolutely no give, ever, no matter the score, no matter the situation, no matter the challenge. I mean, he's completely won over his teammates, our fans. He's real special.
This is a great story for all youngsters out there. He was a 19th round draft pick. No, he doesn't have the most talent, doesn't have the greatest arm, doesn't have the greatest range at shortstop, but perhaps he has the biggest heart on the field. What his father told him, you always hustle. You know our family situation. You hustle, and you're going to see that tonight. Never taking anything for granted, Jeannie. That's David Eckstein.
Yeah, he makes you believe anything is possible. By the way, you are just a vote away from next year's All-Star Game. Log on to foxsports.com, keyword Chevy, and vote on tonight's MVP. And who is more valuable to Detroit than this man, Ernie Harwell? While the statue will forever grace Comerica, Mr. Harwell has a permanent place in the hearts of baseball fans everywhere.
We've got a beautiful evening for the ball game. A lot of blue sky, a lot of sunshine, and I don't think you can find a cloud even if you're looking for it.
Baseball is just a game, as simple as a ball and bat, and yet as complex as the American spirit it symbolizes.
Ball drive, deep right field, it's 3-2. Nobody even turns to look.
It is off the roof. That hit the transformer up there.
When Reggie Jackson hit that famous home run in 1971, it kept going up, and it seemed to gain strength and power. It's the hardest hit ball that I ever saw. 23 players that played in that game made the Hall of Fame, and there were 6 home runs, and all 6 were hit by Hall of Famers. I love Michigan, and I love Detroit, and I've seen some wonderful players and some wonderful plays here. Al Kaline is a consummate Tiger. He made the Hall of Fame on his very first ballot. 22 great years. He is certainly Mr. Tiger.
Way back, and it is long gone.
Baseball is a spirited race of man against man, reflex against reflex, a game of inches. This is a game for America, this baseball, a game for boys and for men.
Now, we couldn't be back in Detroit at the All-Star Game right here in the new ballpark without talking to Mr. Ernie Harwell. You know, when you talk about Al Kaline, I saw him play back in the day. You said he's a consummate Tiger. Give us your take on Al Kaline, what you meant.
He was a consummate Tiger. He played 22 years in Detroit, one of the 3 that played that long in a Tiger uniform. He came right off the sunlots of Baltimore, did not play a minor league game, had some great years. He was a batting champion, the youngest ever. He was the hero of the World Series.
Yeah, we wish we could just go on and on. There's so much to say about him, and thank you so much for coming with us. Little did Mr. Kaline know back in 1971, but he was taking part in one of the classics. What else would you expect to find in Motown, right? A classic here, classic baseball, classic cars, and of course, smoking.
Hey, America, Smokey Robinson here. The loser of this game will be crying tears of a clown. Why? Because this one counts. In 1971, in the heyday of Motown, Reggie Jackson hit a ball out of the park into the streets.
There's a long drive. That one is going way up. It is off the roof. That hit the transformer up there.
Coming up is the All-Star Game, which is the battle for home field advantage in the World Series.
Can they all be that memorable? They'll give it a try, and you could be on your way to 10 Major League games of your choice. To find out, watch for the password tonight and log on to PepsiGoPro.com now through July 15th. Right now, there's $1 million on the line. For that, we turn it over to public address announcer Bob Virgil.
Taco Bell booths at John Hancock All-Star Fan Fest this past weekend. And he's been coached by Tiger legend Mark the Bird Fitridge. Frank has 30 seconds to throw at least 5 pitches through the target located at home plate. If 5 or more pitches go through the target on the fly, Frank will win $1 million courtesy of Taco Bell. Taco Bell is the official quick service restaurant of Major League Baseball. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. Last year, Tom Gray of Houston, Texas, threw his 5th pitch through the target with just 1 second to spare to win the $1 million prize. All right, Frank, I think we're ready to go. Ready, set, go!
We'll be right back with tonight's All-Star introductions.
This September, Fox and ML Sunday returns this September in HD.
Some like things raw. Others cool. Which is why the Lexus ES is available with heated and ventilated front seats and dual-zone climate control. So at least in one place, everyone is guaranteed to feel comfortable. At your Chicago area Lexus dealer.
How you doing? I met you, I think, at the grocery store. It's really interesting, you know, you're drinking coffee, and I'm drinking coffee.
I wish I could be invisible.
I mean, who'd have thought? You meet somebody else who likes coffee.
Hello?
The next best thing to getting Fantastic 4 powers. Combine high-speed internet, satellite TV, and unlimited local and long distance, all for under $97 a month. Add Singular Wireless for more savings. Fantastic 4, only in theaters.
Hey, bedhead. You fell asleep in front of the TV again, didn't you?
I was just,
That wouldn't happen with DirecTV. With access to over 225 all-digital channels and exclusive programming like NFL Sunday Ticket and NCAA Mega March Madness.
I'm, quite impressed. All right.
Ooh, that's a problem.
It's time to rethink TV. Sign up now and get over 140 channels for only $29.99 for the first 3 months. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Introducing the 300 horsepower Acura RL. With voice-activated technology and the world's most advanced all-wheel drive. It shifts power to exactly where you need it for dramatically improved handling in all weather conditions. The road will never be the same. The all-new Acura RL.
Marks of Belza, weeknights at 9 on Fox News Chicago.
We welcome you back to Comerica Park here in Detroit. And right now it's time to meet the 2005 All-Stars.
Hey fans, please stand by. as we will join Fox Sports as Joe Buck will introduce tonight's All-Stars.
Okay, here we go. First, the National League coaches and reserves. From the Milwaukee Brewers, manager Ned Yost. From the San Francisco Giants, manager Felipe Alou. And now the players. From the Arizona Diamondbacks, outfielder Luis Gonzalez. From the Atlanta Braves, outfielder Andrew Jones. And pitcher and Michigan native John Smoltz. From the Cincinnati Reds, shortstop Felipe Lopez. From the Colorado Rockies, pitcher Brian Fuentes. From the Florida Marlins, second baseman Luis Castillo. Catcher Paul Loduca. Outfielder Miguel Cabrera. And pitcher Dontrell Willis. From the Houston Astros, third baseman Morgan Ensberg. Pitcher Roger Clemens. Pitcher Roy Oswalt. And pitcher Brad Lidge. From the Los Angeles Dodgers, shortstop Cesar Izturis. From the Milwaukee Brewers, outfielder Carlos Lee. From the Philadelphia Phillies, shortstop Jimmy Rollins. And pitcher Billy Wagner. From the Pittsburgh Pirates, outfielder Jason Bay. From the St. Louis Cardinals, pitcher Jason Isringhausen. From the San Diego Padres, pitcher Jake Peavy. From the San Francisco Giants, outfielder Moises Alou. And from the Washington Nationals, pitcher Chad Cordero. And pitcher Levon Hernandez. Now let's meet the American League All-Star reserves and coaches. From your Detroit Tigers, manager Alan Trammell. From the Oakland A's, manager Ken Maka. And now the players. From the Baltimore Orioles, third baseman Melvin Mora. Pitcher B.J. Ryan. From the Boston Red Sox, pitcher Matt Clement. From the Chicago White Sox, first baseman Paul Konerko. Pitcher John Garland. And outfielder Scott Podsednik. From the Cleveland Indians, pitcher Bob Wickman. From your Detroit Tigers, catcher Ivan Rodriguez. From the Kansas City Royals, first baseman Mike Sweeney. From the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, outfielder Garrett Anderson. Pitcher Bartolo Colon. From the Minnesota Twins, pitcher Joe Nathan. And pitcher Johan Santana. From the New York Yankees, outfielder Gary Sheffield. And pitcher Mariano Rivera. From the Oakland Athletics, pitcher Justin Dukeshire. From the Seattle Mariners, outfielder Ichiro Suzuki. From the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, pitcher Danny Baez. From the Texas Rangers, shortstop Michael Young. Second baseman Alfonso Soriano. And pitcher Kenny Rogers. From the Toronto Blue Jays, first baseman Shea Hillenbrand. Now entering the field from the tunnel behind home plate, let's meet the National League manager and starting lineup. The manager from the 2004 National League champion St. Louis Cardinals, Tony La Russa. Leading off from the Philadelphia Phillies, what a night last night, right fielder Bobby Abreu. Batting second from the New York Mets, left fielder Carlos Beltran. Batting third from the St. Louis Cardinals, the designated hitter Albert Pujols. Batting fourth from the Chicago Cubs, first baseman Derek Lee. Batting fifth from the St. Louis Cardinals, center fielder Jim Edmonds. Batting sixth from the Chicago Cubs, third baseman Oramis Ramirez. Batting seventh from the New York Mets, out in the bullpen, catcher Mike Piazza. Batting eighth from the Los Angeles Dodgers, second baseman Jeff Kent. Batting ninth from the St. Louis Cardinals, shortstop David Eckstein. And warming up in the bullpen from the St. Louis Cardinals, pitcher Chris Carpenter. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2005 National League All-Stars. Now let's meet the American League manager and starting lineup. The manager from the 2004 World Series champion Boston Red Sox, Terry Francona. Leading off from the Boston Red Sox, center fielder Johnny Damon. Batting second from the New York Yankees, third baseman Alex Rodriguez. Batting third from the Boston Red Sox, the designated hitter, David Ortiz. Batting fourth from the Boston Red Sox, left fielder Manny Ramirez. Batting fifth from the Baltimore Orioles, shortstop Miguel Tejada. Batting sixth from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, right fielder Vladimir Guerrero. Batting seventh from the Texas Rangers, first baseman Mark Teixeira. Batting eighth in the bullpen from the Boston Red Sox, catcher Jason Varitek. And batting ninth from the Baltimore Orioles, second baseman Brian Roberts. Warming up in the bullpen from the Chicago White Sox, starting pitcher Mark Burley. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your 2005 American League All-Stars. When we come back and continue from Detroit, a very special moment before the 76th All-Star Game. Stay with us. First pitch coming up.
Well, it used to be like before I even got around to watching a rental, I'd have to return it to avoid late fees. I swear, I rented the same movie 3 times. Still haven't seen it. Anyway, now I can take a little more time so I can actually watch my movies, which is sort of the point of renting, right?
Renting is better than ever at the new Blockbuster. And with even more copies, these hot DVDs are guaranteed to be there. See participating stores for complete details.
So in conclusion, we chose the high road and we shifted our paradigm. We bolstered sales to an all-time high increase and leveraged our core equities. That's what I call strategilution. Thank you.
Watching athletes do their job is just more fun. Drink Pepsi and play the GoPro sweepstakes. You could win a chance to see the World Series, Daytona 500, and more. Drink Pepsi. GoPro.
Chevy Cobalt has more standard horsepower than the Toyota Corolla or Honda Civic. And a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. Cobalt, an American revolution.
I was just getting to the good part, when Uncle Ernie dropped his tons. I'd seen that look before. It was heartburn. Before you could say duck sauce, I was there with my Pepsid Complete. I told him only Pepsid Complete starts to neutralize acid on contact and keeps heartburn from coming back all day or all night. In no time, Uncle Ernie was in Mushu heaven, and I had my eye on a spicy dumpling. Pepsid Complete, just one and heartburn's done.
Now improved Roundup Plus knocks out weeds in 12 hours. The leading imitator doesn't. Now improved Roundup Plus knocks out weeds in 12 hours.
Over there, Newsweek proclaims American soldiers in Iraq. It makes for one of the most gut-wrenching hours of TV you'll ever see. Harrowing, humanizing stories.
You can't go back to combat.
I'm right here beside you. The New York Times raves. It's an uncompromising, unflinching look at the effects of war.
Time to give some instead of taking it!
From Stephen Bochco Productions, an FX original series. Over There premieres this month only on FX.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now pause to honor and to remember the victims and their families of the tragic events that occurred in London last week. And we express our support during these difficult and trying days. We ask you now to observe a moment of silence. Thank you. To pay tribute to our friends in England, please welcome the Detroit Symphony Brass to perform the British National Anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, would you all please remain standing for the United States National Anthem as performed by platinum-selling Motown recording artist Brian McKnight.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glares, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. Well done, Brian McKnight. When we come back, we will actually talk baseball and set up tonight's game between the AL and the NL when we continue from Detroit right after this.
I got a pocket full of wishes. I got a fistful of your dreams. I got a simple little heart, and girl, I got a reason to believe.
Chevy trucks. Most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
I got a reason to
Tahoe, an American revolution.
Well, late fees made renting a pain.
Yeah, so we started buying all our movies.
Yeah, well, now we have this apartment filled with movies. We've seen maybe like...
We've watched them like once.
Yeah, that was a good move.
Yeah, good move on our part.
Well, anyway, we're back to renting.
Yeah, it's way cheaper.
Yeah, and it takes up a lot less space.
So we have more room for all your stuff.
Renting is better than ever at the new Blockbuster. And with even more copies, these hot DVDs are guaranteed to be there. See participating stores for complete details.
You need a hand with that gear?
I got it.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you crying? No. There's no crying. There's no crying and shipping. My foreman, Larry Lakin, snapped a hamstring, hauling car batteries up 6 flights. Did he cry? No. No. And you know why? Because there is no crying and shipping. Now, you pick that up, and you get out there, and you ship.
DHL, delivering America's pastime on time. A search engine that delivers unbiased health information so people can make informed decisions. a physician finder that enables them to locate the right doctor for the problem. Just some of the features that make WebMD America's most trusted and most visited health site. A site that's recommended by more physicians and relied on by more than 20 million Americans every month. WebMD, America's health site.
Classic day planner, satellite feed, digital camera, zips up, so it's good to go. Classic watch, plays MP3s, checks email, it's good to go.
How about that?
That's my lunch. Crunchwrap Supreme, classic Taco Bell taste, grilled, so it's good to go. Genius. I know.
The new Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell. Beefy, melty, crunchy, cool, classic Taco Bell taste, loaded into a flour tortilla and grilled for maximum portability. For classic Taco Bell tastes that are good to go, think outside the bun.
This fall, Fox introduces a series about two lawyers who come from the same institution. Whoa! A mental institution.
I've been pairing up patients, people with different disorders.
No way. And the law will never be the same.
She's a prostitute. Fine. She's a hooker. Sure.
Adam Goldberg, Chris O'Donnell.
Why is there a man in your trunk? It's the ex-boyfriend from your case. That's not him.
Head Cases.
Don't have to get all persnickety.
Series premiere Wednesday, September 14th on Fox.
The 2005 All-Star Game on Fox is brought to you by Blockbuster. Find out what millions already know. Renting is better than ever at the new Blockbuster. And by Chevy. Chevy and baseball. They just go together. An American Revolution. We welcome you back to Detroit as we continue before this 76th All-Star Game. National League All-Stars, American League All-Stars. And we welcome you to the broadcast booth as you look at some of the stars on display tonight. I'm Joe Buck along with Tim McCarver. In just a second, you know, you can debate all you want, and it's been done plenty. Whether you think the winner of tonight's game should determine which league has home field advantage in this year's World Series. One thing you can't debate is that it has added more of an element of strategy within this All-Star game. And if you talk to the managers, they know which pitcher is pitching which inning, what matchups they're hoping for. They're talking about stealing bases, hitting and running. We'll see how this game unfolds. Tim McCarver, as I welcome you in, I'll ask you this. I guess the question is, can the National League slug with the American League? I mean, the pitching's about a wash, but the AL's got the league's leading hitter batting ninth. They can pound the ball.
Yeah, I don't think that the National League can keep up with the American League as far as slugging is concerned. But keep in mind that throughout the 75-year history of the All-Star Game, the combined average of both leagues only 247. Now, there are reasons for that. The mindset of pitchers, they're like short relievers. You have 13 on the National League, 13 on the American League. And the mindset characteristics of each pitcher, I mean, you never have a chance to face a pitcher that's tired.
And you think about this, Tim, Tony La Russa's got this advantage if he can get through the first few innings. He's got the start from Carpenter, but in the middle part of this game, he can bring in Roger Clemens and Dontrelle Willis. So all that great hitting taking into consideration by the American League side, they better get after the NL early, or they might be shut down by that tandem in the middle part and late stages of this game. We get ready for the first pitch coming up on the other side of the break from Detroit.
Prepare for the fantastic.
Soon the superheroes of baseball will take them down. Goodbye. Players of the American and National Leagues have many superpowers of their own.
What if we got these powers for a reason? Let's not fight.
No. Let's. Don't even think about it.
Never do. Tonight, live from Motor City, the Super Baseball machines will be at full strength. Because this one counts.
MLB Extra Innings from DirecTV. There are over 700 games in the season's second half. That's up to 60 games a week for a price you won't believe. We're talking every hit, every catch, every play. It's the most Major League Baseball you can get. MLB Extra Innings from DirecTV. To order, visit DirecTV.com or call 1-800-DirecTV.
I'm an American West Sports Specialist.
Whether your dream is to buy a home, refinance, or see the Rolling Stones, I'm here to help. Good. That's why we're sponsoring the Rolling Stones tour. For your chance to win tickets, go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream.
This is the story of two wireless phones, both destined for America. But only one would become a Verizon wireless phone. He would work all around and live a full life and play videos by Pretty Ricky. But he never dreamed he'd see his brother until one day. Long-lost brother, tell me of your life. Searching for signal? How lame is that?
How can two similar phones be so different?
The network.
There's only one most reliable wireless network in America.
First base, $58. Second base, 630 pesos. Third base, 300,000 yen. Home, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Fan of the game, wherever there's a game.
You need a hand with that gear?
I got it.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you crying? No. There's no crying. There's no crying and shipping. My foreman, Larry Leggett, snapped a hamstring, hauling car batteries up 6 flights. Did he cry? No. No. And you know why? Because there is no crying and shipping. Now you pick that up, and you get out there, and you ship.
DHL, delivering America's pastime on time.
Remember when Randy Johnson pulverized that bird with his fastball? There was feathers and blood everywhere. The most shocking thing I ever saw. Till I met my daughter's new boyfriend.
This is Hay.
What's up? Hey! That's an interesting name.
It's for Booty.
This kid's name is Booty? He didn't get that nickname by being a good study buddy.
Michael Rappaport stars in The War at Home, premiering Sunday, September 11th after The Simpsons on Fox.
The 2005 All Star Game on Fox is brought to you by DHL, delivering America's pastime on time. By MasterCard, there are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. We welcome you back to Comerica Park here in Detroit. They've been playing baseball here since the year 2000. It is a beautiful venue, and it's been a terrific host, this park, this city, for the last couple of days. Take a look at the starting lineup for the National League. It's brought to you by Taco Bell. Bobby Abreu leads off and right. Beltran batting second and left. The DH is Pujols. Carlos Lee, what a year he's having. He is cleaning up. Edmonton center. Ramirez at third. Piazza catching 10th. And David Eckstein is the shortstop, batting in the number 9 position. Here is Mark Burley, and the left-hander gets the start. A 10-game winner, an ERA of just over 2.5, 85 strikeouts, and for a typical game, you could depend on a lot of innings from this left-hander Burley. Maybe 2 at the most, Terry Francona tells us from Burley this evening. He features many pitches, including a changeup. Here's Scooter.
Hello, friends. It's Scooter. A changeup is just another word for a slow ball. While the batter is looking for a real fast pitch, the pitcher throws me really, really slow.
Tim talked faster than that because the first pitch is right now.
Not much faster. Burley will feature that pitch, the changeup, more to right-handed batters than the left-handers. Bobby Abreu, last night with 41 home runs in the home run hitting contest. My goodness,
he went off. Oh. Johan Santana called home back to Venezuela. His dad said Venezuela is paralyzed watching this. How proud the country must have been last night with Abreu just crushing all records and hitting one baseball after another into the seats and right. And really, here's a guy who's kind of been a well-kept secret in the National League across baseball. The kind of years he's put together over the last 5, a swinging bunt almost, a little squirter down the third baseline foul. And the count 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He crushes the ball with the Midas touch. There's nobody on either team, perhaps in the big leagues,
whose left hand on the bat is any lighter, almost like a pianist, than Bobby Abreu.
Here comes a 1-2 from Burley. Dips down and away. Abreu, from 99 through this season, is number 2 in the National League in hits and number 4 in stolen bases. He tries to get on in front of Carlos Beltran, who waits on deck. 2-2 is lined into left, and that's how the National League starts it. A base hit by Bobby Abreu. And that'll bring in Carlos Beltran. Let's take a look at the defense for the American League. It's Manny Ramirez in left, Johnny Damon in center, Vladimir Guerrero in right, Rodriguez, Tejada, Roberts, and Teixeira around the infield. Jason Varitek is doing the catching. Look at Tejada, 843 consecutive games played. The sun comes up, he'll be in the lineup. Here's Beltran. See by those numbers, he is not having the year that the Mets expected after giving him a huge contract. You talk about a guy turning 1 month of phenomenal baseball during a very good major league career into a big cash payload. Beltran did that with the kind of postseason he had a year ago with Houston.
$119 million over 7 years. Bothered with a quad earlier in the year, on the disabled list for about 3.5 weeks. How about Abreu, though? He wins the home run hitting contest and comes out and singles to left the next night.
Hard hit right at Tejada. Knocks it down, gets one on the first. Double play.
Oh, man.
And a very good double play combination for the Orioles. Tejada and Roberts turn it behind Burley.
Ball is almost behind Tejada. Little backhand flip. And because the ball was hit so hard, they have a chance to turn the double play. Nicely done by both Tejada and Roberts.
That'll bring in Albert Pujols as you look one more time at the turn at second.
Not bad for a guy who didn't have his first glove until he was 19 years old.
First pitch is strike to Pujols. You're talking about Miguel Tejada.
Right.
There are the numbers which are pretty much to be expected now from Albert Pujols every time these two leagues get together for an All-Star game, and that is Pujols being tied in a knot by Mark Burley. I think he's ever swung the bat like that in the big league. Here's an 0-2. Ball one. From Diamond Cam, right in front of Mark Burley, who will work home a 1-2 pitch. It's foul outside third. Take a look at the delivery from Diamond Cam and Mark Burley.
Growing up in St. Charles, Missouri. 45 consecutive starts for the White Sox, and he's gone 6+ innings.
He's a guy that's pitching on 2 days rest. He threw 117 pitches on Saturday when the White Sox were playing Oakland. But here he is on a Tuesday night, and he gives up another hit. Pujols reaches out, plugs the gap in left center field, and Ramirez cuts it off. Pujols hustling was going to turn it into a double if Ramirez mishandled it at all, and the top of the first continues.
What plate coverage. That ball off the plate away. The changeup, one-handed to left center by Pujols.
That's why the guy's so good. I mean,
Right.
you've talked plenty about the ability that Pujols has to take an inside pitch, even sometimes off the plate, and keep it fair down the line, and then to be able to reach a ball like that and single is the reason why the guy can compare his numbers to the greats like Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio. Here's Derek Lee. What'd I say when I did the lineup? I didn't say Derek. What'd I say, Carlos?
All right, yeah.
Thanks for trying to help me out.
2 Lees on the National League squad tonight.
And both are driving in runs. 0-1 is off the end of the bat. Now to play 0-2. Our Pepsid Power Hitters home run leaderboard. Pepsid complete, just 1, and the heartburn's done. Derek Lee, Andrew Jones tied atop Major League Baseball in the home run race. Then there's Teixeira, Ensberg, Adam Dunn, who's not an All-Star this year, A-Rod, and Cliff Floyd, who was also left off the National League team. Here's an 0-2 instead of check on Albert Pujols. Derek Lee is a former Gold Glove Award winner and a guy who, as he steps in, is first in average, tied for first in home runs, as we just showed you, and second in RBIs, only 4 RBIs short of Carlos Lee. Burley works in a hurry, gets around 2 hits in the first, and off we go to the bottom half in Detroit. A scoreless first for Burley. The American Leaguers coming up.
Since 1978, the Hawaii Ironman's 140-mile human blast furnace has scorched the circuitry of the world's fittest athletes, like pro triathlete Chris Lee, who in '97 would bow to the unforgiving terrain of Kona.
I was so dehydrated, my body just shut down with 50 meters left.
It was like watching a train wreck in slow motion. It was hard to watch, let alone film.
At that point, the race meant nothing.
6 years of setbacks landed Chris at the Gatorade Sports Science Institute.
Well, like most athletes, Chris had no idea how much sweat he was losing.
With a new hydration strategy in hand, Chris snapped the tape at the 2004 Ironman Coeur d'Alene.
I guess this stuff works.
And Gatorade continues to fuel athletes everywhere, from the hardwood to the gridiron to the lava fields of Hawaii. The games never end, and the legend continues.
Well, it used to be like before I even got around to watching a rental, I'd have to return it to avoid late fees. I swear, I rented the same movie 3 times. Still haven't seen it. Anyway, now I can take a little more time so I can actually watch my movies, which is sort of the point of renting, right?
Renting is better than ever at the new Blockbuster. And with even more copies, these hot DVDs are guaranteed to be there. See participating stores for complete details.
The new Crunchwrap Supreme. Classic Taco Bell taste, grilled to go anywhere.
All these check email play MP3s. They're portable, so they're good to go. Even this? That's my lunch. Crunchwrap Supreme. It's good to go, but no email. Oddly enough.
Seasoned beef, warm nacho cheese sauce, a crunchy tostada shell, lettuce, tomatoes, and sour cream, all loaded into a flour tortilla and grilled for maximum portability. For classic Taco Bell tastes that are good to go, think outside the bun.
The 2005 All Star Game on Fox, brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun by Gatorade. It's in the cooler. Is it in you? And by Chevy. Chevy and baseball, they just go together. An American revolution. These guys want to play fast. Burley does that anyway, but Johnny Damon hops right in there, and off we go. First pitch from Chris Carpenter, who hasn't lost since May 29th, who's in for a strike. According to the home plate umpire, Joe West. First time he's umped home plate during an All-Star game. Tough play for Eckstein in the hole. Long throw. Damon is out. Tim, all they've said about Eckstein since he came up to the big leagues is he does not have a strong enough arm to make plays like these. He's been a shortstop on a world championship team. He can make the play in the hole.
He does all the things that people say he can't do. The play in the hole, the one hopper, a designed play to get Johnny Damon. One pitch, one out.
So Eckstein's thinking, all right, my first All-Star game, just take a deep breath, settle in. Wait a minute, I got to go to my right and make a play in the hole, and he does to keep Damon off base in front of A-Rod. And Alex Rodriguez takes the ball. Chris Carpenter, as I mentioned, was the selection, obviously, by Tony La Russa. So many people focused on Dontrell Willis, Roger Clemens. Instead, it's Carpenter, and that's a base hit to left by Rodriguez. And one of the reasons why is Tony La Russa wants to use pitchers early in the game with Piazza catching to try to minimize the running game of the American League. So you talk about strategy, that worked into La Russa's thinking, and Carpenter is very good at holding runners close.
Well, we're in a running situation right here. Alex Rodriguez can fly. Doubtful that he'll run here, however, with David Ortiz batting. Hole on the right side.
Carpenter has allowed 1 stolen base since July of 2002. Brings it home, and Ortiz hits it off his hands and back to the screen for strike 1. And here is an overloaded right side of the infield shift put on by the National League with Ortiz at the plate. Hey, this time it counts. Drop down a bunt down the third baseline. People would get up and walk out. A base hit through the right side, and A-Rod, who was running, goes to third. So there you go, Tim, a hit and run Rodriguez was on the move. Ortiz gets a base hit to right, and the American League is in business here in the first.
We asked Terry Francona if he would have signs for tonight's game. He said, not really. An occasional hit and run. Well, the occasion came early.
Starting lineup is brought to you by Taco Bell for the American League, and you look at the number 9 hitter, leads the AL in hitting. Jamin, Rodriguez, Ortiz, Ramirez, Tejada, Guerrero, Teixeira, Veritek. It is a better, more dangerous lineup than the National League starts the game with. And here's Manny Ramirez, number 1 in Major League Baseball with 80 RBIs. First and third, 1 out, and a ball outside. On deck is Tejada. At the plate is a guy who's 6th on the all-time list, category of at-bats for RBIs, on the all-time list. The 1-0. Slowly hit to short. Eckstein. Kent. Each side turns a double play, and Carpenter gets out of a tight spot in the first. Second inning rolls in here in Detroit. Quick first. No score.
Men love trucks. Why? Because a truck is a partner, and it's a relationship based simply in the truth. The truth is, when it comes to trucks, you either lead, follow, or become roadkill. The truth is, there is no word in Japanese for pickup truck. The truth is, Chevy trucks are the true trucks. Vortec V8s, Duramax diesels, C71s, no lime green, no racing stripes, just big, bad, real trucks. Chevy trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. There is only one Silverado from Chevy. Long live the truck.
Revolution starts now. Yeah, the revolution starts now.
The official bank of Little League Baseball. The official bank of Minor League Baseball. The official bank of Major League Baseball. Bank of America, the official bank of baseball.
I fly jets. You like to go fast? On the carrier, you're going to be joined by a new wingman.
A fourth wingman?
He flies all by himself.
How is he doing?
He just selected a target.
What target? He could kill 50 million people with that load. He's going to roll.
It got me! I'm hit! The situation is critical.
This is a national security crisis.
Rated PG-13.
She's a world-renowned expert who sees someone's life just by looking at their bones. Now, the FBI needs her.
Man, that's pretty cool.
They just can't control her.
She accosted a senator, assaulted his aide.
Based on the real-life story of world-renowned forensic anthropologist Kathy Wright.
Cops get stuck, we bring in people like you.
You mean people with high IQs and basic reasoning skills?
Bones, premiering Tuesday, September 13th on Fox.
John Smoltz warming up in the bullpen for the National League, and there's a changeup for Jim Edmonds to start the second inning, no score. It will be Edmonds, Aramis, Ramirez, and Mike Piazza here in the second. Each side had 2 hits in the first inning. Each side hit into a double play, and Burley fires a strike. Edmonds has hit 16 home runs, driven in 51 for the Cardinals, who are leading the National League Central Division by plenty. As we play here on the 12th of July, the Cardinals enjoying an 11.5 game lead over Houston. Astros have leapfrogged over the Cubs. There's the catch by Roberts, a sinking soft hit line drive that Brian Roberts went up and back and to his left to grab.
Well timed and nicely done by Brian Roberts. Yeah, the Houston Astros actually one game better off in the standings than they were last year at this time. You may remember they fired Jimmy Williams, their manager, hired Phil Garner, as Bartolo Colon will be the pitcher at least in the 3rd inning.
Here's Aramis Ramirez. He has certainly filled a hole, a big hole, and a long-time hole at the 3rd base position for the Chicago Cubs since they got him from Pittsburgh. Tim, you have to go back to Ron Santo to find the last guy that was really year after year productive at 3rd base for the Cubs.
Ramirez breaking Santo's record. Ron had 33 home runs in 65. And I'll guarantee you he is listening and groaning in Chicago right now.
Fighting it off into right field. Guerrero gets to it before it bangs around in the corner, and Aramis is on with a 3rd National League hit of the evening. You look at the Cubs' 3rd baseman from 74 to 2002 in their average season. 15 home runs, 71 RBIs, and what Ramirez has done since Chicago picked him up from the Pirates, 35 home runs on average and 100 RBIs.
Ron Santo working the radio games in Chicago, of course, with Pat Hughes, and there was no groaning on that player to right.
So Ramirez is on, and Mike Piazza steps in. Piazza takes a strike. Go ahead.
Last time the National League won an All-Star game was back in 1996, and Mike Piazza from Norristown, PA, right outside Philadelphia, was the MVP.
Here's an 0-1. 1-1 strike. You could be seeing Mike Piazza not only starting and catching for the last time in an All-Star game, a guy who is going to head into Cooperstown as a Baseball Hall of Famer someday, but maybe his last time as a National Leaguer. His deal with the Mets is up at the end of this year, and I think most people believe that obviously his better catching days are behind him, and he is bound for some American League club next year to be a DH and just pound the ball.
Yep.
But here's a guy who has more home runs than anyone in the history of this game from the catching position. He's number 2 all-time as far as average goes among catchers. And I know, Tim, for you, as a guy who caught for a long time in the big leagues, there's nothing but respect for what this guy's done in his big league career.
And so much respect for his durability. Moved to first base the middle of last year with the New York Mets. Still enormously popular in New York, but you're exactly right. He is headed to the American League next year, one would think.
He has a pretty good rip, fouls it straight back, and the count's still 1-2. 366 career home runs as a catcher. He passed Carlton Fisk, and he is number 1 all time. Another 1-2 from Burley. And again, Piazza fights it off. Talk about Burley and the Chicago White Sox, what a story they are. And it gives us a chance to congratulate Ozzie Guillen for the job that he has done in literally changing the mindset of the White Sox, who were 9 games up on a very good Minnesota team at the break. Paul Konerko's been a big part of that. Piazza fouls another.
Art Burley, when he brought the ball back, you can see him kind of hook the ball. There's a guy in this ballpark who used to do that also, Rick Sutcliffe with the Chicago Cubs.
Here's a 1-2 off the inside corner, 2-2. 1 on, 1 out. Kent on deck, and then Eckstein to follow. A 2-2. Strikeout is the second for Burley. And so with 2 out and Ramirez in first, in steps Jeff Kent. You have an opinion on who you think will be the All-Star Game MVP? Go to foxsports.com, keyword Chevy, or MLB.com to vote for your chance to win trips, gear, and even a car in the 9 in 9 sweepstakes presented by Chevrolet. I asked you on Saturday in Baltimore, Tim, who you thought the MVP would be. You've had more time to think about your answer. Now your answer is
Miguel Tejada.
Okay. Did I name him on Saturday?
No.
I didn't.
I think he said Roberts.
Brian Roberts.
I think. Although that game's a blur to me. So you're saying it's going to be an Oriole? 0-1 is the count on Jeff Kent, who's bothered by a strained hamstring, and he is in this game for 1 at bat, and that's it. If he gets on, Castillo will run for him. If he makes it out, Luis Castillo from the Marlins will take over for him defensively in the bottom of the second. 0-2 from Burley. The bench for the AL, and Burley is trying to turn in 2 scoreless. Drives Kent off the plate. The media doesn't make much of the career on a national level of Jeff Kent, probably because of his relationship with the media. Kent doesn't really bother with that sort of thing, but here's a guy who has more home runs as a second baseman than anybody in the history of the game. And the potential future Hall of Famer just struck out looking. 3 strikeouts for Burley. A little M&M for you, Detroit native. Bottom of the second. NL, AL, no score.
So what's different about Budweiser Select? Good question. First, we start with a blend of the finest hand-selected North American and Bavarian hot varieties picked straight from the vine. Then we take the time brew Budweiser Select longer. So you get a beer with light beer stats and a distinct bold taste that finishes clean. So why settle for anything less? Be selective.
You need a hand with that gear?
I got it.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you crying?
No.
There's no crying. There's no crying and shipping. My foreman, Larry Lakin, snapped a hamstring, hauling car batteries up 6 flights. Did he cry?
No.
No. And you know why? Because there is no crying and shipping. Now you pick that up, and you get out there, and you ship.
DHL, delivering America's pastime on time.
Hey guys, can I get your attention? Good news. You're all getting bonuses that could be worth up to $10,000. Fantastic Four Amazon cash cards.
Don't those already come with our meals?
Yes, but normally I would keep them.
Right.
And that is the bonus.
Upsize your BK value meal. Get a free Fantastic Four Amazon cash card.
A symptom checker that allows people to isolate the warning signs of an illness and understand what they mean. Assessment tools that summarize risks and treatment options to discuss with their physicians. Just some of the features that make WebMD America's most trusted and most visited health site. Recommended by more physicians and relied on by more than 20 million Americans every month. WebMD, America's health site.
I'm an AmeriQuest mortgage specialist, and whether your dream is to buy a home, refinance, or see the Rolling Stones, I'm here to help. That's why we're sponsoring the Rolling Stones tour. I love you. For your chance to win tickets, go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American dream.
The 2005 All Star Game on Fox is brought to you by Budweiser Select, brewed for a crisp taste that finishes clean. Be selective. And that's what these American League hitters will try to do against the new National League pitcher, Smoltz. Castillo takes over at second base, and here is John Smoltz. He's from Lansing, Michigan. He drills the inside corner, former Cy Young Award winner. He went from starter to closer, back to starter, and again back to the All-Star Game, and that is crushed. Tejada yard here in Detroit, 1-0 American League. Mercy. Wow.
The Oakland Athletics were interested in Miguel Tejada as a 14-year-old, but he was so frail, they had to feed him for 2 years. They fed him, signed him, and he's strong enough right now.
An MVP for Oakland in 2002, and he's done nothing but play every day and hit since coming to the Orioles as Guerrero pops it up. Eckstein finds it. 1 out.
Talk about centering a ball on the back part of the bat. My goodness.
Signed by Juan Marichal. The MVP in 2002. He led Major League Baseball in RBIs last year, and the Orioles thrilled they signed him. Here's Teixeira. 25-year-old first baseman takes a strike. Here's a guy that you may not have heard a lot about playing for the Rangers, but since the 1st of July last year, he has the most home runs in Major League Baseball. Part of a very good young nucleus for Buck Showalter's Texas Rangers. There are the numbers for John Smoltz. 7th time he is an All-Star. Teixeira grounds to first. Lee flips. Smoltz is there. 2 out. Sounds of the game, Terry Francona. Tonight, Mark Burley's manager.
I think you've seen every pitch he's got, and he drops that on you.
In other words, he's nasty, and standing by right now with Kevin Kennedy.
Thanks, Joe. Here's Mark Burley. Mark, we just saw a shot of you striking out Piazza, and Terry Francona, your manager, says just when you think you've seen everything, he throws that. Give us the secrets on Piazza there to strike him out.
Oh, yeah, I just called everything. I actually left a couple pitches down the middle of the plate, and then he didn't see a changeup. I threw a changeup in the dirt, and he swung and missed.
We talked to you yesterday. You said you might go 1, but you wanted 2, maybe even 3, and we know you pitched on Saturday. How are you feeling out there, and how about the excitement of this game?
I felt great. I actually just told him I could probably go a couple more if he wanted me to, but I mean, they ain't going to take that risk. But this is so exciting to be out there, and the professional hitters over there. I was getting ahead of a couple guys, and I couldn't seem to put them away, and they just couldn't put a couple balls.
Hey, nice job. You put 2 zeros up there. Tejada helps you defensively, then he goes deep. You got a chance for a win. Okay. Joe, let's go back up to you.
All right, Kevin, thanks. And thanks to Burley for the interview. This is going to have some spin on it. Ramirez can't pick it up with a bare hand. You could see that coming. Coming off funny off the bat of Varitek, and then this bounce, and Ramirez had no chance.
Sometimes pitchers are victims of too good of pitches. That pitch breaking the bat of Varitek, and he didn't hit it hard enough for it to be predictable spin, an infield hit for Varitek, and it does not happen that often. 1 of 4 Red Sox in the lineup this evening.
This doesn't happen very often either. The top hitter in the American League is batting in the number 9 spot. It's Brian Roberts, who's hit .345, a couple of points better than the guy on deck, Johnny Damon. 1 on, 2 out, strike 1 on the outside corner. Roberts came into this season with a major league total in 4 years, 12 home runs. He's hit 15, driven in 49, and to a man, the Orioles will tell you he's been their MVP of the first half, even with the records that Palmeiro is on the verge of setting. Joining the 3,000 hit club just on the other side of the break. You see the numbers, 2001 through 4 compared to this season. Guy who last year hit 50 doubles. But the power is what's caught everybody's attention, as that's in the dirt, 2-1.
Brian, born with a hole in his heart, had open heart surgery when he was 5 years old. And here it is almost 20 years later playing in the All Star Game, his first.
22 players in this game in their first All Star festival, as Roberts chops it foul, 2-2. And I think that adds a little excitement. I like to see a little new blood down on the field. And with these 22 first-timers, they are wide-eyed, ready to go tonight if they get the chance. And with this time it counts, and trying to be more competitive and trying to win the game, secure home field advantage. Some guys are going to be left on the bench. That's well hit. Into left field off the bat of Roberts and into the glove of Beltran on the track to end the inning. First run of the night. Should have counted for 2. Tejada, I think you got a hold of this. 1-0 AL. After a couple, back to Detroit. After this, from your local Fox station.
I'm Robin Robinson in the Fox Newsroom. Tonight, new developments in the London bombing. Authorities make an arrest. And the coach goes on the offense against a proposed smoking ban in Chicago. Plus, goofing off at the office. You won't believe how much time is wasted after the game.
The new 2006 6-speed GS. The next phenomenon from Lexus.
Sometimes all I need is the air that I breathe and to love you.
For the air you breathe, get a Filtrete filter from 3M. Filtrete filters capture more pollen, more dust, more pet dander, and more mold spores than ordinary fiberglass.
All I need is the air that I breathe.
When was the last time you changed your filter? Filtrete filters from 3M. For the air you breathe.
Something is wrong.
From the director of The Rock and Armageddon.
Tell me what's going on!
From the producers of Men in Black and The Ring.
You're copies of people. They need a new car, they take it from you.
From the future comes one hell of a ride.
That's a bit of an understatement.
Ewan McGregor, Scarlett Johansson. The Island, rated PG-13, July 22nd.
You asked me to do some research on the Chrysler Group?
I'm waiting.
They have their most award-winning and freshest lineup ever. 12 vehicles with 5-star frontal crash test rating and projected to retain their value better than GM or Ford.
Yada, yada, yada. You forgot the most important part of all, the deal.
It's Employee Pricing Plus, our employee discount plus up to an extra $3,500 cash allowance.
So I'd say if you can find a better car, buy it.
Couldn't have said it better myself, kid.
Some of the moments we have had through the first couple of innings here in Detroit. It's David Eckstein, Bobby Abreu, and Carlos Beltran. The hitters against the new pitcher, Bartolo Colon, after Burley went 2, and Colon he is in that category, Tim, of what you talked about in our open. Here's a guy, a typical starter, coming out of the bullpen, probably 1 inning. He can throw mid-90s, and he's going to bring all he's got for 1 inning, and that's why pitching has dominated these games year after year.
Only a 247 average for both the American League and the National League. Identical. The National League has scored 3 more runs over 75 years than the American League. But you never have a chance to face a pitcher that's tired. Peak performance.
Eckstein hits it into right. Guerrero almost a little too nonchalant going after that ball that carried more than he thought it would. So Eckstein hits it deep but caught in right. Tonight, if a player hits a home run off one of the 3 MasterCard Hit It Here signs, one lucky fan in attendance will win a Chevy HHR, courtesy of MasterCard International, and be presented with the honorary keys to the vehicle on the field. Just one of the many twists to tonight's game here in Detroit, as a strike is poured into Abreu, who I'm sure when he went to the bathroom sink this morning to brush his teeth wondered why his arms hurt. Somebody come in here and help me. All he's doing is hitting line drives. He has 1 hit. He's 1 for 2 after winning the home run derby last night. In case you didn't see what he did last night, it's going to take a while. We're not going to show them all. 24 home runs in the first round, a total of 41, both records. And he hit that one ball 517 feet into right. He's the second out here in the 3rd inning, and the batter is Beltran, who takes a strike. Carlos bounced into a double play his first time up.
Think about last night in Abreu. He hit a season's worth of home runs in an hour.
Here's an 0-1. Over below from Colon. Told you early also that Each manager has it staked out which pitcher will work which inning. The game goes according to plan. And Tony La Russa may go with one pitcher per inning until he gets to Dontrell Willis for the 6th, and he hopes the 7th. He will back up Smoltz with Livan Hernandez, Roger Clemens, Dontrell Willis. Here's a 1-2. Beltran up the middle. Roberts a diving try, but with Beltran's speed, an infield base hit.
That's why they're all-stars. That may sound trite, but how do you hit a pitch like that? Number one, off the plate, down and in, and then how do you make the play? Watch where the pitch is. Varitek sets up inside. Beltran bringing the hands in, and then Roberts in the web, but Beltran runs too quickly for Roberts to make the play.
So Beltran is on, 2 out, and here's Albert Pujols, and that throw gets away. Beltran will end up at third base. Vladimir Guerrero with that long run to get there, and you don't run on the arm of Guerrero because of that. But it's a runner at third, 2 out after the throwing error by Colon. So with the threat of a stolen base with Pujols up and Beltran on, this throw got away.
Think about that. Mark Teixeira has never received a pickoff throw from Bartolo Colon. His first one under the glove and between the legs of Beltran.
He still hasn't received
No,
one.
he still hasn't touched the ball from a pickoff throw from Colon.
So it's Beltran at third, 2 out, and here is Albert Pujols, who could tie this game with a hit. Pujols stuck the bat out, got one his first time up, and he takes a fastball for a strike from Colon. You can look at the numbers that Pujols has put up in his first 4+ years, and believe it or not, they compare very favorably with those put up by DiMaggio and Ted Williams. He takes another strike, and it's 0-2.
We showed this a couple of Saturdays ago, how his stance is even like DiMaggio's. Wide stance and a short stride, if any. Just picks the left foot up and puts it down.
On 0-2. Pujols pops it into right center field. Should be handled. Damon to his left. National League strands its third runner who's coming up for the American League. Top of the order, Damon, Rodriguez, Ortiz, 1-0 AL.
I was just getting to the good part when Uncle Ernie dropped his tons. I'd seen that look before. It was heartburn. Before you could say duck sauce, I was there with my Pepsid Complete. I told him only Pepsid Complete starts to neutralize acid on contact and keeps heartburn from coming back all day or all night. In no time, Uncle Ernie was in Mushu heaven, and I had my eye on a spicy dumpling. Pepsid Complete. Just one and heartburn's done.
Guys, this is a Silverado half-ton crew. Vortec powered. Daltos, Ford, and Dodge. Paper flowers? Tin can? Come on. I love weddings.
Chevy Silverado, an American Revolution.
The official bank of Little League Baseball. The official bank of Minor League Baseball. The official bank of Major League Baseball. Bank of America, the official bank of baseball.
So I just returned this movie that I kept for an extra week. No problem. I didn't even have to pay a late fee. Now think about that, really. Think about having something like a rent-a-car for an extra week. And you go in, you turn it in, they're like, you know what, don't worry about it. You can have that car for an extra week. Would they do that, you think?
Renting is better than ever at the new Blockbuster. And with even more copies, these hot DVDs are guaranteed to be there. See participating stores for complete details.
Sports are great for a kid's body. Steroids aren't. They can ruin tendons in legs and arms. steroids can stunt bone growth and increase the chances of liver cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Steroids don't make great athletes. They destroy them. Talk to your kids. Need help? Get help. Visit drugfree.org.
Welcome back to Detroit. A lot of banners and signs around the ballpark. No surprise there. Somebody just unfurled a big banner behind left field, HHRYA. Tim will have to tell me what that means. I'm not sure, but someone went to a lot of trouble, obviously, to put it up. Out in left center field as Johnny Damon takes a strike, and we're underway in the bottom of the third inning with JDAP. Johnny Damon at plate. That's fouled off to the left and almost picked off fellow All-Star Alex Rodriguez. It's 0-2.
I don't know what that sign means, but hooray is the first thing that comes to my mind. Roy Oswalt facing Damon, one of the most unusual All-Stars because of his swing.
Broken bat, ground ball back up the middle, and it's an infield hit. And how Oswalt got out of the way of the ball and the bat, I don't know, but that was a dangerous moment for Oswalt with that thing headed his way. Kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Damon, he has no idea where the ball is going when he swings. He lunges at the ball, he jumps at the ball, and he makes it work. I asked him before the game if anybody's ever tried to change that stance. He said, I've had a lot of suggestions, but nobody's been successful.
He's told us, I know it's not pretty. I mean, there are times where he just doesn't really even look all that athletic. He's just good. He plays every day. He's durable. He's playing through an injured right shoulder right now. And he came into the break with a 25-game hitting streak, alive and well, the longest in the big leagues this season. He's a big reason why the Red Sox lead the AL East. Ball one, down and into Alex Rodriguez, who singled his first time up. Oswalt was a 20-game winner last year. And he and Roger Clemens, a great 1-2 punch for the Astros. That's fouled. 1 ball, 1 strike.
1 and 2 in the National League in earned run average. Clemens with a 1.48 earned run average. Staggering. He's allowed 1 earned run on the road this year.
And you're looking at a comparison, these two pitchers in their first 5 years. Oswalt hits the inside corner at the knees, and the count's 1 and 2, and right on cue with one Astro on the mound. The other, the Hall of Famer Roger Clemens, is getting loose with Dontrell Willis to follow him. Check on Damon. Damon during the regular season so far this year has stolen 9, been caught once. Red Sox don't do a ton of running. We joked with Terry Francona before the game. He said, you can have signs. And I said, wait a minute, you don't have signs with the Red Sox. Why would you have signs in an All-Star game? He said, well, we have signs. They just don't know them.
Red Sox show up and hit.
Here's a 2-2. Almost got away from Piazza, full count. The only run in this game, a leadoff home run by Tejada against Michigan native John Smoltz. There's the star of the All-Stars so far. Runner goes, ball 4, and here comes the American League in the third. A hit and a walk. Here is our Burger King Have It Your Way home field advantage to the fans of the city of Detroit. Have it your way in this beautiful, relatively new field, Comerica Park. Open in the year 2000. There is the wonderful Ernie Harwell. Statue of him outside this park. The Ferris wheel, those baseballs going up and around. And here in Detroit, the Tigers are having it their way. 2 on, nobody out, and David Ortiz takes a ball low. Ernie Harwell is beloved in this city for good reason. You will never meet a better baseball man, somebody who has given more of their life following a team and presenting that team on the radio to faithful fans summer after summer than Harwell, as this thing has rocketed off the base of the wall in right. Damon will score. Going to third is Rodriguez, and it's 2-0 American League. Ortiz is 2 for 2. A hit, a walk, and a ringing single off the bat of David Ortiz.
Red Sox are represented, as we said earlier, by 4 members of their team, and they have 4 hits here in the first 2+ innings. I'll tell you, pitchers just do not know how to pitch to this guy. He keeps getting better and better and better. The ball was hit so hard that he couldn't get to second base as Damon scores.
So now it's first and third, nobody out, and Manny Ramirez is at the plate. Oswald in trouble, and he misses with ball 1. Ramirez's first time bounced into an inning-ending double play. And the National League infield is back. They'll take another double play and give up a run. Two nothing American League here in the third inning, and Ramirez chased it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good slider from Oswald. Tightly wrapped in a good location.
Oswald is here because of the internet vote. Late addition to the NL squad, and he jams Manny Ramirez, strike 2. Started to talk earlier about the career of Manny Ramirez and that list of the fewest career at-bats for RBI all time. It goes Ruth, Gehrig, Hank Greenberg, the great Tiger, Ted Williams, Jimmy Fox, and then Manny Ramirez.
World Series most valuable player last year. Red Sox winning 4 in a row over the Cardinals.
And he strikes out here for out number 1 of the inning, and that's exactly what Oswald needed. First National League strikeout of the night, and it belongs to Roy Oswald.
Well, that's a terrific combination of 3 pitches in a row. The slider away, fastball inside, and another fastball around the letters.
Now it's first and third, 1 out for Tejada. Jammed, and he fouls it. During this 3-day stay in Detroit, Major League Baseball went over the plans for the World Baseball Classic. If you want to talk about a team from the Dominican Republic, realize that the last 4 home runs hit in All-Star games have been hit by players from the Dominican. Manny Ramirez, Alfonso Soriano, Ortiz, and back in the second, Miguel Tejada. He's in the hole, 0-2, and Oswald needs another strikeout. Most RBIs by a shortstop in a single season all time. 9 shy of Vern Stevens was Tejada last year. Here's an 0-2. Not hard hit. Eckstein will charge, go to first, out, a run scores. It's 3-0. Rodriguez crosses the plate, and Tejada has 2 RBIs.
Eckstein charging hard to make the short hop play, and a strong throw gets Tejada as Miguel drives in yet another American League run.
It's that last little bounce, Tim, right there that I think forced Eckstein to go to first instead of coming home for the out trying to get A-Rod.
Yeah, you're not going to get 2 on that ball anyway. It's either to second base for the force or to go to first. He took the surer play to first base.
So now it's Ortiz at second, 2 out, and Vladimir Guerrero at the plate. All anybody talks about with Guerrero, last year's MVP from the American League, is that he's a free swinger. But he's the only guy that's involved in baseball right now active with 8 straight years of hitting better than 300. He almost curled right into that pitch. 2-0.
He wanted to hit that one before it hit him. Rex Hudler, an announcer for the Angels in the city of Anaheim, the Los Angeles Angels, had a great line the other day. He said Guerrero's strike zone is from his nose to his toes. Love that.
Here's a 2-0. There's an example of it. count in his favor, 2-0. Oswald practically bounces it to the plate, and Guerrero swings at it.
He's not up there to walk. It's different with Guerrero. It's not a strike zone. It's a strike area or a strike district.
There's his career average by month, better than 300 every month. There's one way inside. He shatters his bat and ends the inning.
Hit it before it hits you.
2 more runs for the AL after 3. It's 3-0. American League.
You know I feel all right now. I feel pretty good, y'all.
The FS Chevys are back. 6 cars, 1,926 horsepower. Chevy, an American revolution.
I saw him last month at the movies.
You saw him? Man, I've never seen him.
There he is!
Gonna get your autograph?
You make that dad stuff look easy.
Hey, Bob, I love your speech about the birds and the bees. And they're giving Bob Jr. driving lessons, too.
That was scary.
You cook for your kids every morning. You cook?
Involve parents with the real heroes. They give kids the tools to succeed. See how at MVParents.com. Sponsored by Players Inc. and Coors.
Major League Baseball on XM Satellite Radio.
If there's one thing baseball fans can agree on, it's Major League Baseball on XM Satellite Radio. Only XM brings you every team all season long, plus 100% commercial-free music. Beyond AM, beyond FM. XM Satellite Radio.
From Walt Disney Pictures.
My parents are the greatest superheroes on the planet.
Will has a problem.
I don't have any powers.
His dad has a plan.
Sky high.
Next stop, superhero school.
What's your power? I know.
Great. On July 29th,
stroke?
they'll discover when it comes to saving the world, nothing is more powerful than family.
My boy has super strength. Ow! Sorry. Ow! You are strong.
Sky High. Rated PG. Starts July 29th.
Look at you kids. In my day, there was no Hi-Fi, PDA, MP3, and definitely no KFC. What? We called it Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Thought you'd never ask.
Still Kentucky Fried with 11 herbs and spices for the taste that's generation strong. Get 10 pieces of original recipe chicken for only $8.99. And make it a meal when you add the fixins. Get the old school taste you love, only at Kentucky Fried Chicken.
The 2005 All-Star Game on Fox is brought to you by Chevy. Chevy and baseball, they just go together. An American revolution. We are set to go in the 4th inning. National League's got to get it going, and that's a start. Derek Lee rings one down into the left field corner. It's a leadoff double. And you consider what Derek Lee is doing this season. Trying to become the first Triple Crown winner in Major League Baseball since 1967 when the As won it. Or the first in the National League since Joe Medwick in 37. Oh, by the way, he's a Gold Glove Award winner. He can run. He can throw when he has to. He is one of those rare 5-tool players. And he's at second with a leadoff double to greet Johan Santana. Here's Jim Edmonds. Santana has that lethal combination of power and knee-buckling finesse. A great changeup. Here is a 1-0. Edmonds taking 2-0. Bank of America National League and American League players of the first half of the season. Derek Lee is the selection from the Chicago Cubs. He has by far put up the best offensive season in the first half in the National League. Wearing a microphone for us tonight and hoping that he is chased home by Edmonds, who's up on the count 2-0. 3-0.
The deepest into a season that a player has carried Triple Crown numbers was Dick Allen in 1972, interestingly, for the Chicago White Sox. Dick led in all three categories on September 8th, and he was the eventual MVP in the American League that year.
National League hoping this is the start of something big. Garrett Anderson is in the game at the left. That means Manny Ramirez is out for the rest of the night. And Ichiro is in center, so Johnny Damon is finished. That means that hairstylists across the country are turning their televisions off as we speak.
All the salons on the West Coast.
2 on with nobody out for Aramis Ramirez. Ramirez takes down and away ball 1. Aramis, a single his first time up. Top one down the right field line. Playing for home field advantage in this year's World Series. The American League, as they play tonight, riding a 7-game winning streak. Last year, before you could take a breath and look up, it was 6-0 American League against Roger Clemens and the NL in Houston. 3-0 tonight. That might be a double play. Roberts, Tejada. High throw and out. Double play. Ramirez bounces into a 4-6-3 twin killing.
Good play by Teixeira at first base. Not a good throw by Tejada. He had more time than he thought. Tried to make the throw on the run toward the home plate side, and the tag made by Teixeira. The American League 1 out away, by the way, from seeing Roger Clemens.
Will be the next pitcher for the National League. What will the score be? That's up to Mike Piazza and Johan Santana. Now it's Livan Hernandez who has gotten up and started to get loose on this warm but not overly humid or hot night in Detroit. Clemens was warming earlier. See who takes the field. Middle of that diamond for the NL in the bottom of this inning. 1 ball, 1 strike on Piazza.
Matt Clement now warming for the American League. It's tough for managers of starting pitchers who are pitching in relief because starters need a longer time to get ready. So even though Clemens, we think, is coming into the game the next half inning, Hernandez is getting loose.
We will have a chance to visit with Tony La Russa during tonight's game. The same for Terry Francona. Anybody who knows La Russa knows that he's probably been thinking about this game since the end of Game 4 of last year's World Series. That's just the way he goes about things. Here's a 1-2. Squirted to the right side. Long run for Roberts, but he's got time. And after putting the first 2 on, the National League does nothing in the 4th. The Orioles double play combination. They've been busy a couple times tonight. It was Roberts to Tejada. Good enough. 3-0 after 3.5.
Did you ever have to make up your mind? Pick up a woman and leave it up behind. It's not always easy, not often kind. Did you ever have to make up your mind? Did you ever have to finally decide? Say yes to one and let the other one ride. There's so many changes. Did you ever have to finally decide? Hey, batter, batter, batter. Hey, batter, batter, batter.
First base, $58. Second base, 630 pesos. Third base, 300,000 yen. Home, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Fan of the game, wherever there's a game.
You know what they want. Get the family share plan from Verizon Wireless. Get up to 3 lines for only $9.99 each after signing up for the first 2 lines. Now buy 1 Motorola V265 camera phone and get the second one free. Then start calling on the nation's most reliable wireless network. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you.
It only took 2 minutes for this town to be destroyed. To
To a little girl who lived through it, this is more than a teddy bear. It's a step towards normal. It's why all state catastrophe teams not only have hot coffee and help for grown-ups, they've also handed out more than 12,000 teddy bears to kids. People come first. Everything else is second. That's all states stand. Are you in good hands?
Classic day planner, satellite feed, digital camera, zips up, so it's good to go. Classic watch, plays MP3s, checks email, it's good to go. How about that? That's my lunch. Crunch Wrap Supreme, classic Taco Bell taste, grilled, so it's good to go. Genius. I know.
The new Crunch Wrap Supreme from Taco Bell. Beefy, melty, crunchy, cool, classic Taco Bell taste, loaded into a flour tortilla and grilled for maximum portability. For classic Taco Bell tastes that are good to go, think outside the bun.
It's really important what we're doing for the kids.
I got enthusiasm flying out mine. Hey, Lupus, don't lean against that door.
Bad News Bears, rated PG-13. Starts July 22nd.
He has been a national treasure for the Washington Nationals, a big reason why they are in first place at the break in the NL East. Look at the numbers since 2000. More innings than any other pitcher in the game, 30 complete games, batters faced, pitches thrown. He is a workhorse and a guy that is at the top of the Nationals rotation. And for Washington, they come in at 52-36, 2.5 games better than Atlanta. And Tim, did you know that they used to be the Montreal Expos?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes, I did.
It's hard to remember sometimes. First up is Mark Teixeira here in the bottom of the fourth inning, bottom three in the lineup for the AL, and a strike from Hernandez.
What a remarkable job Frank Robinson and his staff, Jim Bowden, the general manager, has done with that ball club.
Teixeira gets under it and pops it up. Castillo coming out to make the play, one down. Our DHL game break, we highlight the Washington Nationals. What a first year it's been in the nation's capital for the Nationals. There's Frank Robinson, Hernandez, a great home record, 30-13, best in the major leagues. Cordero's been closing games, a lot of tight ones. Those one-run games, and if you're going to win 24 one-run games, that means you have a good closer, and they do in Chad Cordero, who's an all-star. Also 29 come-from-behind victories for that 2.5-game lead over the Braves, who are doing it with mirrors and doing it with kids that they're calling up. And another example, as you look at Clemens getting loose for the National League, another example of the job year in and year out that Bobby Cox, Leo Mazzoni, John Schuerholz, the scouting department, Stan Kasten from years gone by, the team president, the job that they have done for 13 straight years in Atlanta.
Yeah, the Atlanta Braves are as surprising as the Nationals, but for different reasons. So many young players introduced on that team, and a red-hot Andrew Jones.
Here's a 3-1 to Veritek. It's low, a one-out walk. Andrew Jones, who we will see at some point tonight, is tied for the major league lead in home runs. He had 13 home runs during the month of June, and talked about it a couple of Saturdays ago. He's always been very good, but this has been that great season that the Braves have been waiting for, and with Chipper Jones on the DL, it could not have come at a better time. Here's Brian Roberts. Brian flied out to left his first time up, and he rips it fair down the right field line. Fan interference. They're going to give a double to Roberts. Over to third goes Veritek, and it's second and third, one out on a ringing double by Brian Roberts, a guy who hit 50 doubles a year ago to set an American League record for a switch hitter.
Watch the first base umpire, Tim Welke. He doesn't make the call, but the right field umpire, Andy Fletcher, does. The 6 umpires in this particular situation come in handy. I'm not too sure Tim Welke saw that ball real well.
Welke, who's from Michigan, deferred to Fletcher, who is umpiring an All-Star game for the first time in his big league career. And here is Ichiro. The infield comes in as Hernandez misses low with ball 1. They're the umpires for tonight's game. West, Welke, Eric Cooper, Mike DeMuro, C.B. Bucknor, and Andy Fletcher. Ichiro with a count 1-0 takes inside 2-0.
262 hits last year, a major league record. And he had most of those hits with the infield back. So you can imagine what kind of hitter he is right now with the National League infield in.
He's a career 336 hitter. That's the highest average by any foreign-born player in the major leagues. And he is up on the count here 3-0. And it kind of looks like Livan Hernandez is willing to take his chances with Rodriguez with the bases loaded. The pitch was inside, and Ichiro went after it anyway, 3-1. I don't think it would break Livan Hernandez's heart if he walks Ichiro right here. 1 out, load the bases. This guy's so good in this situation because of his speed. Trying to put the bat on the ball and bring home a run. And he breaks his bat, floats one into right for a base hit to score 2. In to score is Veritek. In to score is Roberts. 2 more, and it's 5-0 American League. Well, if Hernandez didn't want to walk him after falling behind 3-0, it looks like he should have.
Talked about Vladimir Guerrero and how he expands the strike zone, even in a hitter's count. That is a good pitch to Ichiro. He breaks his bat and is strong enough to carry over the infield and drive in 2 more American League runs.
So a 5-0 AL lead. Check on Ichiro. Gets back easily. Now it's Alex Rodriguez at the plate. He singled, walked, and scored. One on, 1 out. Rodriguez takes a strike.
Alex Rodriguez wearing number 13. You may remember when he was traded to the Yankees last year before the 2004 season. He thought about number 3, but that was retired.
Yeah. There aren't a lot of single digits left, Alex, in the Yankee uniform as he gets under this and flies one to Edmonds for out number 2. 1 on, 2 out for Ortiz. For a chance to win the Pepsi GoPro MLB Pass, select the password home run at PepsiGoPro.com. Right now through July 15th. Here's Ortiz, who's 2 for 2. There's singles and RBI. Last year homered in his first All-Star game, and a guy who the Twins cut loose a couple of years ago. Out in front of that, foul. He makes you giggle over there.
Well, I mean, you make good pitches on him. He hits it on the fat part of the bat. He pulls it foul. It's almost no way to effectively pitch him because he's learned to handle that pitch up and in now.
Oh, they have Ichiro and they pick him off. Ichiro was leaning, and Livan Hernandez, who has a good move, picks him off to end the 4th. But 2 more runs for the American League. Ichiro out, off to the 5th. 5-0 AL.
Well, it used to be like before I even got around to watching a rental, I'd have to return it to avoid late fees. I swear, I rented the same movie 3 times. Still haven't seen it. Anyway, now I can take a little more time so I can actually watch my movies, which is sort of the point of renting, right?
Renting is better than ever at the new Blockbuster. And with even more copies, these hot DVDs are guaranteed to be there. See participating stores for complete details.
Hey, Johnny. What's up? We're picking up some stuff for the Baseball Hall of Fame exhibit. Got anything you want to contribute? What do you got so far? Some infield dirt, bloody sock from Schilling, you know, stuff like that.
How about this?
Whoa.
Wore that one in Game 4.
Yeah, this would be great. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
DHL, delivering America's pastime on time.
Hey, know who's #1 in wireless? Radio Shack. Our sales associates are #1 in wireless customer satisfaction. That's why we sell more wireless phones than any other consumer electronics retailer. Come see why during our Red Hot Wireless event. Get this new Verizon Wireless 6100 camera phone by LG for just $49.99 after $50 mail-in rebate. Then get a color screen phone free with 2-year contracts on each. Don't settle for second best. The #1 place to buy wireless is Radio Shack.
I'm an American West mortgage specialist. Whether your dream is to buy a home, refinance, or see the Rolling Stones, I'm here to help. Good. That's why we're sponsoring the Rolling Stones tour. For your chance to win tickets, go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream.
If you missed the Big Chevy employee discount for everyone, you're in luck. We've extended the program, giving you a second chance to take advantage of employee pricing on almost every 05 Chevy vehicle. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. The Chevy employee discount for everyone. Hurry, offer ends August 1st. The Chevy employee discount for everyone. See your local Chevy dealer before August 1st.
The 2005 All Star Game brought to you by Blockbuster. Find out what millions already know. Renting is better than ever at the new Blockbuster. By AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream. And by Chevy. Chevy and baseball, they just go together. An American revolution. It's the 5th inning, and it's 5-0. American League with Matt Clement taking over. Only one other defensive change for Terry Francona, and that's Melvin Mora at third base for Alex Rodriguez. It's Castillo his first at bat, and he pops it into center field. Easy for Ichiro. 1 out. Terry Francona is the manager of the Boston Red Sox, the world champion Red Sox. He's the manager for the American League. He joins us. Terry, I was looking at you out of the corner of my eye when you were going through your team for tonight's game and the different changes that you could make, and you kind of had that smile across your face. I know you got a great team to manage, a great lineup. Are you having any fun at this point?
This has been the best. You know, the point coming up to this game, it was kind of trying at times. So far, this game is just about everything I expected. These players are awesome. They're giving everything they have. They're enthusiastic, and so far we're doing okay.
And I would imagine foremost in your thinking right now is to get Matt Clement through this inning without getting him hurt.
Yeah, no runs and not getting hurt is huge. We want every player to go back intact, especially our own.
Yeah, you were talking about Mariano Rivera in particular and conversations you have with managers, not just Joe Torre, and that's obviously the main goal, to return these guys in the shape they were in when they came to Detroit. And you've got Clement now. What are you looking at as we go deeper into this game?
Well, like you said, the next thing we might do is pitch Mariano 6, 7, 8, and 9. I don't think Joe will have a problem with that.
No, that's fine. You guys open with the Yankees, by the way, in the second half. You aware of that?
Yeah, we might throw him in next inning just because of that. Yeah, no, we're gonna be very careful. Believe me, we're gonna try to mix common sense and definitely winning this game and trying to play people, and we'll try to mix them all together and win this game.
I said earlier that you can debate all you want about whether this game should mean which league has home field advantage in the World Series, but I don't think you can debate that it's changed the mindset of the managers. You're going over decisions that 4 years ago you wouldn't have even thought about. Pinch running, stealing, pitching around guys. That's changed the way you guys think, hasn't it?
You know, you're right. Last inning, Ichiro was going to run for Manny in that inning if Manny got on. So you're definitely, the exhibition atmosphere or attitude towards the game is definitely gone. And I think we need to treat these players in this game very special. But if we forget who gets home field advantage, that's a big mistake.
Who had home field advantage last year?
I think the people of Red Sox Nation can answer that for you.
2 wins in Boston, 2 in St. Louis, and a ring. Terry, thanks not only tonight for your help, but all that you and the Red Sox do for us during the regular season. You guys are great to work with, and thanks for joining us.
Guys, my pleasure. We'll see you this weekend.
All right, that's Terry Francona. He manages the American League side, and he's watching Clement, his right-hander, fall behind Abreu 3-0. He finds the strike zone, 3-1.
And it will be Matt Clement on the mound against Randy Johnson this Saturday at Fenway Park. What a matchup.
And right on cue, there's the promo at the top. Don't miss a trick. Here's a 3-1. Abreu fouls it out of play, and the count's full 3-2. Clement got Castillo, got Eckstein, who's 0 for 2. And now it's Abreu trying to extend this inning for Beltran as the National League tries to get something, anything going against the AL pitching. 3-2. 2-out walk. So the inning continues, and Beltran will be the hitter. Beautiful night in Detroit. Temperature is down, relatively speaking. Nice breeze through the park. Hopefully the rain will stay away, and Beltran swung right through the first pitch from Clement. Strike one. Beltran is singled and bounced into a double play. Here's an 0-1. Chevy and Major League Baseball have joined together to really light up the city here in Detroit. Check out the light show going on outside the stadium as they turn on the lights in downtown Detroit. A display not only for Chevrolet and Major League Baseball, but also for the city of Detroit, which has been a great host over the past couple of days for this 76th All Star Game. Tradition started back in 1933, and Clement made Beltran look easy. A strikeout, the inning over, halfway through this All-Star game. It will be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the AL as they lead it 5-0.
We spend our whole day dreaming about what an ATM could be, what it should be. We're working on cash deposits at our ATMs, where you won't even have to use an envelope. You put the cash in, our ATM quickly scans, counts the cash, and totals it for you. I'm Dean Kirby. I'm a banker, and I'm proud to be part of Bank of America. Bank of America has more ATMs around the country than any other bank, over 16,000 of them, and we never stop thinking about how to make them better. We've already carved at least 6 seconds out of the basic transaction. Doesn't sound like a lot unless you think of yourself in a van full of kids like I do. We're also working on transfers and payments at our ATMs. Watch. From checking, take $60 and pay towards your credit card. Or from checking, move $100 into your savings account. We're working on that. Imagine this, depositing checks. Now you see it on the screen, and we print that image on your receipt. At Bank of America, we want each of our ATMs to be a mini Bank of America. A mini bank as good as any big bank we've built.
Bank of America. Higher standards.
I'm looking for who killed my mother.
She's the only woman that ever gave a damn. On August 12th.
All I want is a name.
In a city divided. Half the cops in this town are crooked. Who are you protecting? Everyone. What do you think you found? I don't know, but it's something big. Has something to hide.
Keep knocking on the devil's door. Somebody gonna answer you.
4 brothers.
I just wanted to talk. Let's go talk to him now.
Starts Friday, August 12th in theaters everywhere.
I didn't kill that man, Michael. The evidence says you did. I was set up. Swear to me. I swear to you, Michael.
They come at me, John. Coming after you.
I doubt it.
What is it about this case that the Secret Service is so interested in?
The man killed the vice president's brother. I'm getting you out of here. It's impossible. Not if you design the place, it isn't.
Prison Break.
I know what you're doing.
Premiering Monday, August 29th on Fox.
Working on a night move.
Roger Clemens takes over here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He is not the only one to come off the bench or venture onto the field in this 5th. A lot of changes for the National League, and manager Tony La Russa has guys moving all over the place. Ortiz was at the plate when Ichiro was picked off to end the 4th, and so Ortiz, Boston Red Sox DH, takes on the former Boston Red Sox ace Roger Clemens. Paul O'Duca's behind the plate. Jimmy Rollins, the Phillies, is in the game at short. 90-mile-an-hour pitch by the bat of Ortiz. Miguel Cabrera's in left field. Andrew Jones takes over in center, and that pushes Jim Edmonds to right. Start of the game in center. 1 ball, 1 strike from Clemens. 7-time Cy Young Award winner. The flash bulbs popping all around this stadium. Deals up and away 2-1.
With that last pitch, that is the pitch that had the most flash bulbs of any pitch tonight. The remarkable Roger Clemens.
That's up and away 3-1. Remarkable because since turning 40, his numbers have stayed steady with what he was doing as a younger man, and his actual strikeouts per 9 innings pitched are higher than what they were, as Ortiz flies one into deep left. Cabrera is there for out number 1. You look at these numbers before and since turning 40. The winning percentage better. The ERA just a touch worse. Opponent's average the same. Strikeouts per 9 innings pitched, and the guy who just tapped him on the shoulder figuratively and said go pitch is Tony La Russa, who's 3-0 as a manager in All-Star games in his career, and he joins us. Tony, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
What do you think from your vantage point so far tonight down in that dugout?
Well, it looks to me like we got to score some runs to make it a game.
You know, we came into tonight's game talking about a matchup of these two sides and trying to compare the two lineups. It looked like the AL had the advantage with a little more thunder in their lineup. I thought the pitching was about even, maybe even tilted toward your side. As you look ahead in this game, I know you've got Clemens now with Willis to follow. What a pick by Castillo. And Tony, I guess that caught your attention down there.
Well, it did. You know, Gene Mark sometimes used to say that when something's not working, try some new blood. So we got a bunch of new guys out there, and there'll be a couple more next inning. And, you know, we need to score some runs to make it a game. But, you know, one thing that I'm encouraged about, they had a chance to blow the game open, and we've done a good job of limiting it to a couple of runs here and a couple of runs there.
So Clemens is pointing out to Castillo, appreciative of that pick to his left, and Tejada steps in at the plate. I joked earlier saying that you were probably thinking about this All-Star game and all this time it counts and trying to get home field advantage right after Game 4 was over during last year's World Series. But it certainly is an advantage and something that definitely worked in the Red Sox favor last October. But I liked your line about if the Cardinals had had home field advantage, it might have been over in 5 instead of 4 with the way the Red Sox played.
Yeah, you know, I just don't want to do anything, take credit away from the Boston Red Sox. They beat us to the punch at every turn in those 4 games. But it is an advantage. I mean, it's whoever gets it has an edge.
1 ball, 1 strike, and Tejada comes up empty. 1-2. All right, so handicap the rest of this game. You've got Willis waiting down in that bullpen. You've got some guys coming off your bench. What are we going to see?
Well, I think if we can get this last out and get a 0, I think you're going to see some. You know, I'll make you a bet that we score in the top of the 6th.
All right. Hold me to that. Castillo to his right. Made a great play in the inning. Tony, thanks for the chat. Good luck.
Thank you.
Tony La Russa hoping for some runs. Perfect inning for Roger Clemens. 6th inning. 5-0 AL.
What do you think here then, Ken? 3 wood off the tee for the Tiger?
Whatever they say, but it probably will be a 3 wood.
race-inspired handling, responsive acceleration, and a four-wheel independent suspension are all things you expect from Honda. What you don't expect is all that in a truck. A four-door truck with a 255 horsepower engine and the highest government crash test rating possible. The new Ridgeline. Above all, it's a Honda.
$5 Million Baby. Experience the film that won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Director. $1 Million Baby. Buy it on DVD today.
All right, gang, let's hear it again. Let's do it.
Boys and Girls Clubs of America is the official charity of Major League Baseball. Together, they create a positive place for kids. This game goes into the 6th inning. Providing aerial coverage for tonight's broadcast is Freedom, the AmeriQuest Mortgage airship. AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American Dream and Major League Baseball. We thank them for being with us tonight and all season as the 6th inning rolls in. And Dave Winfield is in attendance tonight. A lot of Hall of Famers are in the seats here at Comerica Park as Carlos Lee steps in there, batting for Pujols. To start this 6th inning, Lee has driven in 76 runs to lead the National League. Last year with the White Sox. What a first year he's having with the Milwaukee Brewers as he hits one in the air to center field. Ichiro is back. The big center field here in Detroit. 1 out. Our WebMD Health Update features Roy Halladay. Friday night, Halladay injured his left shin. Line drive by the Rangers' Kevin Mensch. A broken leg. You can check your own symptoms at WebMD.com. He was a candidate to start this game against his buddy and former teammate Chris Carpenter. And not only did it affect this game, but I don't know if you paid attention that the Blue Jays are only 5.5 out in the American League East, and they are losing their best starter for at least a month. Michael Young takes over at short. You saw the name Ivan Rodriguez, the hometown favorite now, the catcher for the Tigers. He's in there catching John Garland, who's on the mound from the White Sox. Derek Lee takes outside, and the count goes to 2-1. Clement 1 inning, no runs or hits, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. 2-2.
With the American League up by 5 runs, there are 2 things that cut down on the running game. A 5-run lead and Ivan Rodriguez, who is probably the best to ever play that position defensively.
Lee pops it up. Shallow right, out goes Roberts. 2 down. What a job turned in tonight by the combination of Burley, Colon, Santana, Clement, and now Garland, who's a 13-game winner. Not only his career high, but it ties him for the top spot across the major leagues.
Signed back in 1998 by the crosstown Chicago Cubs and traded to the White Sox for Matt Karchman. A trade that has the White Sox very, very happy. Garland has just had a terrific year for the Southsiders in Chicago.
Dontrell Willis is getting loose for the National League. Moises Alou is at the plate, batting for Jim Edmonds with 2 out, nobody on. Garland misses low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Alou is the Giants representative, and Kenny Rogers, who accepted the invitation, voted in by the players, will take over next for the American League. He's got a while to warm up with his team out in the field here in the 6th. 3-1.
Last December, if one had said that an outfielder for the San Francisco Giants would be voted to the All Star Game, you would have said, well, of course, Barry Bonds. Moises Alou.
With his dad, one of the coaches for Tony La Russa, he takes a walk, and Alou just year after year puts up big numbers, and he is on with the 3rd walk handed out by the AL tonight. Family tree, their all-star family tree.
And a rather prolific all-star family tree. Actually, one time during the early 60s, they all played in the outfield at the same time.
Aramis Ramirez is trying to help Tony La Russa win his bet. Bet the National League would score a run in this top of the 6th with the heart of the order up, and all they have to show for the hitters that he sent up is a 2-out walk. That gets away from Rodriguez, who popped up on it. Down to second is Alou.
Well, he tried to backhand it, and that often happens in the All-Star game because you're used to facing the pitchers as hitters, but not as catchers. Or you don't know the movement of those particular pitches. A ball that's backhanded or tried to be backhanded by Rodriguez.
So the wild pitch puts Alou at second with 2 out. Here's a 2-0. 3-0. On deck is the young, dangerous, and exciting Miguel Cabrera. National League trying to get on the board, and they've got 2 on with 2 out. Back-to-back walks with a wild pitch mixed in from Garland. In case you're wondering, the last shutout in an All-Star game happened back in '96, pitched by the National League in their last win in the All-Star game. And here is Miguel Cabrera, who with one swing could change the tone of this game. Two on, 2 out. Ball 1.
Saw the age of Miguel Cabrera when he started for the Marlins. That was in a World Series. And I think he solidified his place in postseason history in that one at bat by Roger Clemens when Clemens knocked him down, and then Cabrera got right up and homered over the right field fence.
Garland's getting wild. It's 2-0. Cabrera, as Dave Wallace is not only going to talk to Garland, first he'll introduce himself. Say, hi, I'm your pitching coach for tonight. You've walked 2, and now you're 2-0 on the next hitter. Try to throw a strike. So Garland will try to find this last out. He is in a dangerous spot to a great hitter. You have an opinion on who you think will be the All-Star Game MVP? Go to foxsports.com, keyword Chevy, or MLB.com to vote for your chance to win trips, gear, and even a car in the 9-in-9 sweepstakes presented by Chevrolet.
Dangerous situation right here for John Garland.
And Cabrera ripped. It's 2-1. Cabrera, since his debut, June 20th of '03, has the second most RBIs in the National League, second only to Albert Pujols, with 236. This season he has 62. And he grounds sharply to Young. Out at second. National League still being shut out as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Tony loses his bet. AL coming up against Dontrell Willis. 5-0 American League.
Men love trucks. Why? Because a truck is a partner, and it's a relationship based simply in the truth. The truth is, when it comes to trucks, you either lead, follow, or become roadkill. The truth is, there is no word in Japanese for pickup truck. The truth is, Chevy trucks are the true trucks. Vortec V8s, Duramax diesels, C71s, no lime green, no racing stripes, just big, bad, real trucks. Chevy trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. There is only one Silverado from Chevy. Long live the truck.
Revolution starts now. Yeah!
Smooth from the first taste. Refreshing every single time. The great taste of Bud Light. The summer is calling, and so are the friends. Bud Light. Great taste for your great times.
A search engine that delivers unbiased health information so people can make informed decisions. A physician finder that enables them to locate the right doctor for the problem. Just some of the features that make WebMD America's most trusted and most visited health site. A site that's recommended by more physicians and relied on by more than 20 million Americans every month. WebMD, America's health site.
You're so good in the Fantastic Four. Here, have another fry.
What are you doing?
What?
Are you feeding her French fries?
No.
Why is there ketchup on her face?
What ketchup?
Whatever. She's cardboard.
Not cardboard, she's just quiet.
Upsize your BK value meal. Get a free Fantastic Four Amazon cash card.
The 2005 All Star Game on Fox brought to you by Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. By WebMD, America's health site. And by Chevy. Chevy and baseball, they just go together. An American revolution. Two exciting athletes hooking up here. Dontrelle Willis and Vladimir Guerrero. First pitch fouled back by Willis, who is tied for the most wins in the majors with 13. And that ERA of 2.39, the 23-year-old left-hander. Guerrero's 0 for 2, and he takes low.
Few players had the electric presence that Dontrelle Willis has. From Oakland, from the inner city. His mom, Joyce, refuses to watch games on television, but she's here tonight.
And she just watched Vladimir Guerrero take young Dontrelle back up the middle for a leadoff hit. So Guerrero's on for the first time tonight, and Teixeira, the switch-hitting first baseman, will turn around bat right-handed. Moises Alou is now in the game after hitting for Edmonds. He's in right. Vladimir Guerrero, who got 3 at-bats tonight, will be lifted for Alfonso Soriano. And slowly but surely, the benches are being drained on each side. Teixeira now. Right-handed for the first time tonight, and he gave it a rip. Strike one. Guy who has not homered off left-handed pitching all season. That's foul. You talk about the athletic ability of a guy like Dontrelle Willis, who's so animated on the mound. Just think about the athletic ability it takes alone just to repeat that motion. So many things can go wrong from the time he starts it to the instant the ball leaves his left hand, but because of the kind of body control he has, he's able to repeat it time after time, and he misses down and away, ball one.
Yeah, he doesn't do it as much from the stretch as he does from the windup with the high leg kick. But he had problems with that in 2003. That's why the Marlins were forced to move him to the bullpen.
There's a leg kick for you. Dontrelle Willis, who has a more subdued kick from the stretch, brings it home, and now after it was 0-2, Willis has run it full. On 3-2, Teixeira went up and after it. Still a full count.
There's just such personality that shines through from Dontrelle Willis by the way he wears his hat.
Good rip by Teixeira.
I guess if Gershwin were to write that song that he wrote about 75 years ago today, it would be about Dontrell, the way you wear your cap, the way you kick your knee.
Here's the 3-2. That's fouled again. Teixeira in a battle with Dontrell Willis, still full. And he is one of those guys that when you get a chance to meet him, he is exactly how he comes across during interviews. I mean, he has absolutely no pretense. None. No inflated ego, no nothing. That is hit high and deep in the air to right field. Back at the wall. His first home run off left-handed pitching this season. And it comes in the All-Star game to make it 7-0. Teixeira goes deep. Soriano, who was pinch running there to greet his teammate Mark Teixeira, and it's 7-zip AL in the 6th.
In the opening this evening, we talked about this relentless American League lineup, and it has certainly been that. Big hand for Pudge Rodriguez.
And we talked about how in years past pitching has dominated, and that is not the case with this National League group tonight.
That pitch about neck high, off the plate away, muscled out of the ballpark.
You said earlier about Vladimir Guerrero, he's not up there to walk. Teixeira with a count full wasn't up there to walk either. He was swinging at anything.
Nobody remembers a layup.
1-2 on Ivan Rodriguez. The 25-year-old Mark Teixeira, part of a Texas Rangers team, which at the break is 5 out in the AL West, so they have closed it down a bit on the Angels. The only scoreless innings pitched tonight by the National League side. Carpenter in the first, he gave up 2 hits. And Clemens the only 1-2-3 inning. That came last inning, and now Dontrell Willis is having trouble in the 6th. That pop foul off to the right, not a play.
Joe, you mentioned the Texas Rangers, only 5 back of the Angels. The Oakland Athletics making a move in the American League West. They're only 2.5 behind Texas.
Here's a 2-2. Rodriguez chopped it foul. Yeah, if you didn't pay attention to the standings right before the break, you didn't get your morning sports section for the last week prior to the first half, the standings look a little different than they did a couple of weeks ago. How about the AL East with the Yankees only 2.5 out after the mess of a first half that they had and the disappointments and the Steinbrenner quotes and Randy Johnson being good and then struggling and being good and then struggling. That's the way the Yankees were the first half, and they're 2.5 out behind Boston and Baltimore. The surprise team for the first 2 months, only 2 out now.
Yep.
Now it's a full count on Rodriguez.
Yeah, the Baltimore Orioles have made the American League East from a 2-team race to a 3-team race. Look at B.J. Ryan, their closer.
Now a walk to follow the hit and the home run. And Willis gets a visit from his catcher, Paul Loduca. This week in Major League Baseball history, July 13th, 1971 here in Detroit, Tiger Stadium. Reggie Jackson's tremendous blast was the most memorable moment of the 42nd All-Star Game. One of 6 home runs hit in that game by 6 different players who would end up in the Hall of Fame. For more MLB info, log on to foxsports.com on MSN. Keyword Budweiser. There are the, at the time, future Hall of Famers rounding the bases.
It's staggering to think how far Reggie Jackson hit that ball that evening. That was Henry Aaron's first extra base hit in All-Star competition after 20 years. One of only 2 home runs the Hammer hit in All-Star competition. What a lineup they had. The first 6 players for the National League. Mays led off. Aaron batted second. Joe Torre, the MVP, batted third. Followed by Willie Stargell, Willie McCovey, and Johnny Bench. First 6 National League hitters in 71.
Here's a strike over the inside corner. 2-1 on Sheffield, who was batting here for Brian Roberts. To the shortstop. Rollins, Castillo turns it beautifully. One of the best in the business at turning double plays, and Sheffield bounces into a 6-4-3 double play. So the bases are empty, and back to the top of the order, Ichiro.
You've heard that expression, room service double play. Well, nowadays it's in-room dining. That was an in-room dining double play. Pop for Rollins.
He spent too much time on the road.
I know.
You need to come home, Tim. Come in from the cold. Here's a strike on the inside corner to Suzuki. Ichiro, a 2-run hit, then was picked off back in the 4th. Tim, it's 7-0 American League.
I know.
And Kenny Rogers will be next on the mound for the American League side in the 7th. That's low. Our pregame show showed the incident back on June 29th with Kenny Rogers and the 2 cameramen in Texas. As Ichiro chops it foul, and then there was a week's worth of time where Rogers didn't make any public announcement and any showing of remorse after that incident. And that's, I think, when a lot of the opinion was formed about whether Kenny Rogers should appear as an All-Star after that incident on the field. He was hit with a 20-game suspension, a $50,000 fine. You and I both weighed in. Everybody weighed in on whether he should be an All-Star. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Ichiro flies one into left center for Andrew Jones. We will see Kenny Rogers, the All-Star, and talk more about his appearance here tonight on the other side of the break. Dontrell Willis served it up to Shera, goes deep to right. 7-0 AL. Back after this from your local Fox station.
Chicago's best are headed for the Motor City. Burley, Lee, Garland, McFerrin, Corey's live in Detroit with complete all-star coverage. Tonight, after the game, on Fox Chicago. Local coverage first.
Adaptive headlights designed to turn with the road ahead. The luxury sedan designed to outperform. Introducing the all-new M from Infiniti.
Still thinking about your ride? Here's your second chance. Play Illinois Lottery's Road to Riches. Send in $30 worth of qualifying non-winning instant and online tickets. There's 20 golden keys that unlock 20 new cars. Pop your trunk to find $25,000 to $1 million inside. So go ahead, replay. Illinois Lottery. Have a ball.
Solar eclipse lighting designed to illuminate. The luxury sedan designed to outperform. Introducing the all-new M from Infiniti.
Comcast high-speed internet. Faster than DSL, so music, photos, everything downloads in an instant. And we just keep getting faster. So you can do more online. It's one more reason more people across America choose Comcast. Call today for this great offer.
Hey, it's me. Meet me at sunset. Don't be late.
Great explorers know all the right trails.
I see you got my message.
The 245 horsepower all-wheel drive Nissan Murano.
We welcome you Welcome back. 7th inning now in this All-Star game. Our game summary brought to you by Verizon. See all the runs put up by the American League side. They've out-hit the NL 10-5 to Hada. First career All-Star home run to Shera. Not only his first career All-Star home run, but his first this season right-handed. The Red Sox tonight have had fun. Last shutout was 96, and right now on the mound is Kenny Rogers. They show the incident back in June as we're now hearing the reaction for Rogers' announcement here in Detroit. And you and I both came out at the time and said that we didn't think that in this celebration of baseball, Rogers should be a part of it. After hearing him, after seeing him, he read his apology, then faced the media last night, answered questions, apologized for the incident. I won't speak for you, but my stance has certainly softened, and I agree with him that the players voted him in. It's well within his rights to be here. He wanted to face all the questions and go through this in the All-Star game. He appreciates being here, and I think in the end, probably better off for being here tonight than ducking the situation.
I think just getting the feeling from the crowd here, they've almost tempered their booing. There were initial boos for Kenny to greet him, but I mean the very fact that he held his own press conference against the advice of his lawyers. It was as contrite a press conference as you can imagine, very sincere, and yesterday's whole day was sincere, and as Kevin and Jeannie said before the game, hey, it's over.
Castillo watches Garrett Anderson turn in a brilliant play down the left field line to hold Luis Castillo to the leadoff single. Castillo can fly, and Anderson played that perfectly.
Well, getting to that ball, the diving Mora, and the carom played beautifully by Anderson. A tougher play for a left-handed throwing left fielder because he had to pivot to make the throw to second base. Well done.
Talked about it being within Kenny Rogers' rights to be here tonight. The suspension does not cover games other than the quote-unquote involved in the championship season, which is what the Rangers are fighting for down in Texas. Rangers are going to lose their top starter, Kenny Rogers, for a period of time. They've appealed the suspension, which, as I mentioned, was 20 games. The problem with Rogers was it was a couple of weeks after he lost control of himself and punched a water cooler down in the dugout and broke a bone of the pinky on his non-pitching, his right hand. And that incident, and if you talk to people that know Rogers, hello, there will be no shutout. That ball is crushed down the line and left. It is gone, a two-run shot, and Andrew Jones, who has 27 during the regular season, has put the National League on the board in a big way. That was every bit as crushed as Tejada's back in the second. Second in his career in an All-Star game, and that was majestic.
Talked about it earlier, 13 home runs in the month of June, 15 since June 1st. And I was thinking that for a game to come in under the circumstances, Kenny Rogers.
Nice pickup by Mora. Rollins beats it. Is this the start of something bigger for the National League, as Mora did all he could, but Rollins with that great speed is on with nobody out in the seventh. Another look from Diamond Cam at that home run from Andrew Jones.
Uncoiling like a cobra. Oh. I was going to say, Joe, that in a 7-0 game, under the circumstances, you'd think that that would be the type game that Kenny Rogers would want to come in for. But now he's given up 2 runs and an infield hit. And the boos have resurfaced here at Comerica Park.
And Terry Francona, the AL manager, said the easy thing to do would be to not pitch Kenny Rogers. He thought the right thing to do, to be honest, true to this game, is Loduca grounds to third. Mora, Soriano to first. Konerko a double play. 5-4-3, 2 out, nobody on. Francona said the right thing to do by this game is to have Rogers pitch. He's been one of the best in the league all season. Sure. Rogers wanted to face it. He's in the game. He's given up the first 2 runs for the National League tonight. It's 7-2, and here's Carlos Lee 0 for 1. Strike one. Lee fly to center, deep center, his first time up. After Lee, Morgan Ensberg is in the on-deck circle, and he'll take over at first base for Derek Lee. 1 ball, 1 strike. So the Astro fans will get to watch a guy, Morgan Ensberg, either in this 7th or in the 8th, getting at bat. And Andrew Jones, who was all smiles and laughs down in that dugout after that shot here in the 7th. Lee out in front of it, strike 2.
Rarely does a trade work out for both leagues. Carlos Lee traded from the White Sox to the Milwaukee Brewers for Scott Posednik. Scott on the All-Star team in the American League side, and Carlos in the National League side.
The strikeout to end the inning. Kenny Rogers faced the media last night, faced the National League tonight, is serenaded with boos by some as he heads off the field. After 5 American League pitchers combined on a shutout, in the 7th, Andrew Jones unleashed one on Kenny Rogers in the AL. It's 7-2 here in the middle of the 7th. We will stay here between the top and bottom half of the 7th. And we will toss it to public address announcer Bob Vergils for God Bless America.
Fans, please rise and honor America as we welcome Detroit's very own Grammy Award-winning recording artists, the first family of gospel music, the Winans, to sing God Bless America.
Here in Detroit, the 76th All-Star Game will move to the bottom of the 7th. Brad Lidge will take over on the mound. Melvin Morrow will be first up. It's 7-2 AL. We'll take a break. Back after this.
It's the bomb. 2-1 detonation. Boom. Give me some room. You better wait for the kid to blow up and take off like a rocket. Got something up my sleeve and something else in my pocket. Yeah. Let me see you move out there. Throw your hands in the air like you just don't care. Cause we rolling in, coming with a funk sound and the state the government, so we won't shut down. First gear, make sure you got everything you need. Second gear, lean back as you pick up speed. Third gear, hit the highway, you're starting to roll.
Cash, credit, or debit. Have it your way.
are good ideas. There are great ideas. Then there are ideas that meet a higher standard. And those are the only ideas that make it into our trucks and SUVs. GMC Professional Grade Engineering. It's not more than you need, just more than you're used to.
When beer starts out this cold, it ends up this refreshing. Coors Light.
The 2005 All-Star Game on Fox, brought to you by Rocky Mountain Refreshing Coors Light, by Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you, and by the makers of Pepsi Complete, just one and heartburn's done. Billy Bob Thornton in attendance tonight, and some fellow cast members of the upcoming movie Bad News Bears, opening July 22nd.
From Carl and Sling Blade to Bad News Bears in about 8 years.
The Buttermaker and Bad News Bears. There's a lot of ground in between those two roles. Melvin Morris first up against Brad Lidge, who is the 7th pitcher of the night for the National League. Good pitching on the hands of Mora, who just does nothing but hit. Second All-Star selection for the former Met, a guy who anchors third base for the Orioles, against Lidge, who has a great fastball and a power slider. 1-1 pitch. There it is, strike two. New first baseman is Morgan Ensberg, as I told you last inning. He takes over for Lee, Derek Lee, and Felipe Lopez is in the game at third. Here's a 1-2. And another nasty pitch that gets away for a moment from Loduca. One out. Let's check in with Kevin Kennedy.
Hey, I know Kenny Rogers since 1993. We worked together, obviously, and we made you a starter in 93. That being set aside, you made a mistake, you've addressed it. I think the easy way out, Kenny, was you not showing up and being at home. But take us through it once again for the people who haven't heard why you decided to come here.
I think people that know me know I'm not a guy that really takes the easy way out of anything, but you make a mistake, you take responsibility for it, and I'm trying to do that and then make the best out of this as I can and move on.
Not only are you here, though, you had some boos in the lineup in the pregame. You had some boos coming off the field. You knew that was going to happen. Take us through the emotions, what you were feeling at that time, and what you think about the fans doing that to you.
You know, I don't really hold anything against anyone. Everyone's going to do what they feel that they should do, and that's what I'm trying to do here. People have their own reactions to stuff, and I'm trying to deal with it the right way.
Let me ask you one more question. You had a lot of support from the guys here in this clubhouse because they said, you know what, we want Kenny here, we voted for you. Terry Francona said, if he's here, I'm going to pitch him. How'd that make you feel?
I wanted to pitch also. I didn't pitch last year in the game, and I think this was, at this stage of my career, it's something that not expected for me, but I'm happy to be here. I know I've earned the right the way I've pitched, but with a lot of the other stuff going on, I know I didn't want this to be a distraction, and hopefully it hasn't been. I hope everything that happens is on the field now, and we can take our focus on that.
We appreciate the time you being here, Kenny. Thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half. I won't shake your hand too hard. Tell me it's hurt. Back up to Joe.
Yeah, it's that right hand, though, fortunately for Kenny Rogers, and that's more of what we talked about. I mean, Kenny Rogers has, after that week of silence and the response from his lawyer, stepped out front and tried to put it behind him, showed contrition, and has moved on, and good for him. And I'll say, at least from my perspective, it really hasn't been that big of a distraction over the last couple of days. I think that was more blown out of proportion, and I was probably right there leading the charge on that, too. Lidge got the strikeout of Mora. He got Sweeney, who was pinch hitting for Ortiz and is now the DH, and now he deals with Garrett Anderson, and some of these American League hitters are seeing what the National League hitters have had to deal with this very good young closer, Brad Lidge of the Houston Astros. Anderson lays off 1-2.
Brad Lidge has thrown 8 strikes in this inning. And American League hitters have not touched one of them. All swinging, no foul balls.
1-2 pitch. There's kind of a foul tip.
Yeah.
For the strikeout. Perfect 7th, 8th inning All-Star Game. 7-2 AL.
Okay, thank you.
I'm new here in front of Bank of America.
The largest network of ATMs and banks in the country. Only from Bank of America. Higher standards.
I was just getting to the good part when Uncle Ernie dropped his tons. Oh, I'd seen that look before. It was heartburn. Before you could say duck sauce, I was there with my Pepsid Complete. I told him only Pepsid Complete starts to neutralize acid on contact and keeps heartburn from coming back all day or all night. In no time, Uncle Ernie was in Mushu heaven, and I had my eye on a spicy dumpling. Pepsid Complete, just one and heartburn's done.
On Wednesday, October 2nd, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer.
Come on.
The CAT scan revealed that my condition has spread into my abdomen. For now, I must focus on my treatment. However, I want all of you to know that I intend to beat this disease. And further, I intend to ride again as a professional cyclist.
Hot. Spicy.
Want something spicy? Taco Bell is open late. Feed your need for all the spicy, grilled, marinated, crunchy, and melty taste you can only get at Taco Bell. Want to spice up the night? Think outside the bun. Open till 1 a.m. or later.
Drink to your health, because the more water you drink, the better you feel. So make your body happy. Drink more water. Aquafina. And new Aquafina Sparkling in original lemon, lime, and berry.
It starts in your own neighborhood. When you care enough to give your time to help someone still learning the way and getting involved in the needs of your community.
Once you've helped bring a smile to someone's face and help brighten their day, you'll be hooked for life.
The Major League Baseball Players Trust and Volunteers of America are teaming up to make a real difference in the lives of the people in our communities. Join a winning team. See what you can do to...
First pitch swinging, it's Ensberg popping it up to the right side in foul territory. Konerko hauls it in. Nathan throws one pitch, gets Ensberg for out number 1 here in the 8th inning. 7-2, the American League on top. Shea Hillenbrand takes over at third base, and that means by my count only Podsednik is left as a position player for the American League. There are the numbers for Nathan, who has been outstanding since taking over as the closer for the Twins last year. He was an all-star last year. He's an all-star this year, and very deserving. Alou goes up there ready to hit and rockets one over the head of Anderson and left for a one-out double as Anderson boots it out there, but it'll be a double either way. So Alou has been on base twice. For a chance to win the Pepsi GoPro MLB Pass, select the password home run at PepsiGoPro.com right now through July 15th. At the plate is Felipe Lopez. And for all of you Napoleon Dynamite fans out there, and I know you're out there, Realize that Felipe Lopez is wearing a Vote for Pedro shirt under his uniform top. Strike one from Joe Nathan. Feel free to remain silent over there.
I don't know how to react to that.
Just don't. Let it go.
Okay.
It's off into Never Never Land. Alou at second after the double. Lopez, one of 6 players produced out of the Toronto Blue Jays organization to play in this All-Star game, and what a year he's had. Career high in home runs while playing for the Reds. They're doing something right in Toronto. Problem is they can't keep him there and put it together at the big league level. 1-1. Lopez out in front, strike 2. Talking to Terry Francona before the game, he said, you know, we can talk strategy and hitting and running and pinch hitting and all that stuff all you want, not worrying about trying to get everybody in the game unless it's a lopsided game. And that's exactly what we have at this point, which takes the pressure off these managers to get everybody in the game. Francona said, the best thing could happen, maybe not for you guys, but the best thing that could happen is an 8-0 game. That way I can empty the bench. 8-0 either way. And most people can head home happy after this All-Star appearance in Detroit. Here is a 2-2 to Lopez. Up the middle, base hit. Alou is going back to the bag. He is going to be held at third, down by 5, and it's a first and third one-out situation for the National League.
I think for some National League fans here in attendance, there were some boos because Alou didn't score, but as you can see, Alou going back to the bag. You're trailing by 5. You don't really know where the shortstop is behind you, so you have to more or less play it safe.
And now here's Miguel Cabrera, who again has the opportunity to tighten it down and make it a game again. First and third, one out. Cabrera 0 for 1. Goes after a breaking ball down and away. Strike one. Joe Nathan got Ensberg to pop up, gave up the double to Alou, the hit by Felipe Lopez, and now the 0-1 to Miguel Cabrera. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Joe, you talked about the Toronto Blue Jays and the minor leaguers that they have playing in the major leagues. Great production down there. What about the Minnesota Twins, who are, as we speak at the break, ahead for the wild card position in the American League, 10 games over 500.
Hard hit. Hillenbrand knocks it down, throws to second wide, but out is Soriano. Hauls it in, and in to score is Moises Alou to make it 7-3. It's an RBI ground out, force out, and that thing came up and hit Hillenbrand in the gut.
You wait 8 innings for a bad hop, as Hillenbrand did.
So Alou, who doubled, scores. It's a 4-run game, and Castillo steps in with his teammate Cabrera at first. 2 out. Castillo singled and scored a run his last time up. Nathan, who had 1 major league save heading into last year and then racked up 44 for the Twins, gets it in there for strike 1. And since you and I last talked on the air, Minnesota has added Brett Boone.
Yeah.
Picked him up in a deal with Seattle. The Mariners had designated Brett for assignment. And why not? I think it's a good pickup for the Minnesota Twins.
Absolutely. There's the wild card standings in the American League. Minnesota, 1.5 games over Baltimore. The Yankees and Rangers and Cleveland all tied at 2 back. And the surprising Oakland Athletics, after their start, only 4.5 back, followed by Toronto and Detroit.
1 on, 2 out, 0-2 pitch. That's foul. Take a look at the NL wild card. Good measure to balance it. Atlanta on top of the 4.5 game lead over Florida. Houston's only 5 out there with this resurgence that they've had. Phillies 5 out. Then the Mets, the Cubs 6 out. Arizona, Milwaukee, all for the most part on the edge, but still within reach. Castillo fights it off again. 11 o'clock in the East, and this is a game that started with a scoreless first, and then the AL went to work. A home run by Tejada. 2 more runs for the AL in the third. Scored against Smoltz and then Oswalt. 2 more in the fourth. Scored against Livan Hernandez. That breaking ball misses, barely. 2 more in the sixth for the AL against Dontrell Willis, and a home run by Mark Teixeira. The American League is on its way at the moment to its 8th straight victory over the NL and All-Star Game. Here's a 1-2. That's wide, 2-2. The National League had an 8-game streak, 1963 to 1970. The best is an 11-game streak for the National League between 72 and 82, but these games have recently been dominated by the AL. 1 on, 2 out, and Castillo to the left side. Hillenbrand flips, and the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Michael Young first up for the American League. They lead it by 4.
I think it's really important what we're doing for the kids.
Yeah, I got enthusiasm flying out.
On July 22nd.
Your kids are out here throwing punches.
You guys swing like Helen Keller at a pinata party. See, that's the spirit.
Never before has so much responsibility
Shouldn't we be practicing?
meant so little.
Is he dead? He's drunk. I'm taking his wallet.
Billy Bob Thornton.
It's all right, kid. You had a helmet on. Imagine if you didn't.
Bad News Bears. Rated PG-13. July 22nd, only in theaters.
There's no feeling like M3 Power. Press the button and feel the boost in performance. Introducing M3 Power Nitro. Gillette M3 Power with a bold new look. Nothing shaves better. We guarantee it. New M3 Power Nitro from Gillette.
It's not just another truck. It's the Honda Ridgeline. With 4-wheel drive, a rugged, integrated closed-box frame, and a lockable in-bed trunk. Introducing the all-new Ridgeline. Above all, it's a Honda.
Sport is sport. A foul's a foul. And a bat's a bat, even if it's flat. 10 feet on the west side is 10 feet on the east side. Football is football, unless it's football. Now, a win's a win, a loss is a loss. But no matter what, you better come with it, because it's 90 feet to first, no matter where home is.
Reach a new level of performance and boost your shave with new Mach 3 Comfort Gel. Designed to partner with all Mach 3 razors to make Gillette's best shave even better. New Mach 3 Comfort Gel, the best a man can get.
The 2005 All-Star Game on Fox, brought to you by Paramount Pictures. The new film Bad News Bears, Friday, July 22nd in theaters. By Bank of America, higher standards. And by Pepsi, it's the cola. We move into the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 7-3 game, a 4-run lead for the AL. And a new pitcher for the National League, Jake Peavy. 7-3, ERA 3.14. And this was the ERA leader from last year, the first Padre ever to accomplish that for Major League Baseball. Michael Young first up for the AL. It'll be Young, Soriano, and then Comerica. Rain starts to fall here in Detroit. Lets up as I say that. Pitch 1 is low for ball 1. Here's a 1-0. Breaking ball is hanging and hammered. Young wraps it off the wall and left and has a leadoff double. We'll give you a DHL game break and highlight the Chicago White Sox, who have a 9-game lead in the AL Central over a good Minnesota team. Names like Garland, Podsednik, Burley, who started this game. 57 wins, most in the first half for the White Sox franchise. Good in one-run games. They're not hitting a ton, but they can pitch. And they have got an attitude, thanks in large part to the managing style of Ozzie Guillen. There is the lead they enjoy in the Central.
Ozzie Guillen, animated and honest.
Soriano pops it up. Back in the Dominican for the birth of his third child, a baby boy. Yesterday, back in time for the game, and Rollins and Castillo share a smile after the two almost came together on that pop-up. 1 on, 1 out. Konerko's first at bat, 20 home runs in the first half, 6th most in the American League. Last year's comeback player of the year in the AL. Hit 38 home runs last year for the White Sox, and he hammered the first pitch foul.
Jake Peavy from Mobile, Alabama, and in talking to Jake yesterday, I asked him how many family members would be at the game. He said 15. I said, well, that's a lot. He said, yep, Mobile was evacuated because of Hurricane Dennis, and his family members just kept right on going north. Here they are in Detroit.
Strike 2 on Konerko. So they're getting a thrill, and it reminds us at Fox Sports to send our very best to those who've been affected by Hurricane Dennis. And the remnants of it pushing its way north, and we're getting the effect of it here all the way up in Detroit with the rain as it's falling right now. Coming up next, immediately after the game, except for those of you on the West Coast, your late local news. Konerko strikes out, 2 down. And this is the way Jake Peavy is trying to get around a leadoff double by Michael Young.
Looks like a change-up to Konerko to get Paul.
And we're going to have a pitching change. Tony La Russa is out. He'll take the ball from Peavy. And with Ivan Rodriguez coming up, the NL is going to the bullpen. Peavy is finished. A new one coming out for the NL. Here in the bottom of the 8th, it's Cordero.
Hey, Johnny. What's up? We're picking up some stuff for the Baseball Hall of Fame exhibit. Got anything you want to contribute? What do you got so far? Some infield dirt, bloody sock from Schilling, you know, stuff like that.
How about this?
Whoa.
Wore that one in Game 4.
Yeah, this would be great. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
DHL, delivering America's pastime on time.
I was just getting to the good part when Uncle Ernie dropped his tons. I'd seen that look before. It was heartburn. Before you could say duck sauce, I was there with my Pepsid Complete. I told him only Pepsid Complete starts to neutralize acid on contact and keeps heartburn from coming back all day or all night. In no time, Uncle Ernie was in Mushu heaven, and I had my eye on a spicy dumpling. Pepsid Complete, just one and heartburn's done.
A symptom checker that allows people to isolate the warning signs of an illness and understand what they mean. Assessment tools that summarize risks and treatment options to discuss with their physicians. Just some of the features that make WebMD America's most trusted and most visited health site. Recommended by more physicians and relied on by more than 20 million Americans every month. WebMD, America's health site.
One part of this concept car is already on the road. Michelin MX tires. Chosen by more luxury car makers to enhance the performance of their cars.
way forward.
The creator of American Idol is taking on the next great talent search to find the best dancer in America. So you think you can dance? So much talent. So many left feet. The competition begins Wednesday, July 20th on Fox.
A big part of the Washington National success is clearly this guy, Chad Cordero, who at one point during the season had 26 consecutive saves from the end of April till the beginning of July. And here's a guy who was a college closer 2 years ago at Cal State Fullerton, drafted by the Expos, and he pitched in the big leagues the same year. You think about a guy like Craig Hansen of St. John's, who was drafted by the Red Sox. He might be an answer if they can sign him for their bullpen here in 2005. That's on the outside corner from Cordero, and in a blink, it's 0-2.
Seems like closers are coming up earlier with big league teams after signings and staying with them longer, like Chad Cordero.
One of the reasons is this guy was a closer in college. A lot of the guys end up getting converted.
Yep.
From starters to closer. That's wide. And it's 1-2. There's a converted starter. So that worked out pretty well for Mariano Rivera. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at second, 2 out. That runner is Young. And Rodriguez chops it foul. So the Boston Red Sox, who we will see on the Saturday right after the break. There's a nice note about the note from his grandfather that he keeps in his pocket while he plays. Talk closers, and the Red Sox are trying to turn Kurt Schilling into a late inning reliever. That note's somewhere in those fans. Here's a 1-2. Rodriguez fouls it back, and you can hear the bling bling, as the kids say, bouncing around with our microphone down there after each swing by Ivan Rodriguez. What happens when you wear a big chain to the plate? You swing and you jingle, jangle, jingle.
Chain, chain, chain in Motown.
Here's a 1-2 with 2 out. The dirt. Schilling will be there and activated for the first series right after the break between the Red Sox and Yankees. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And Rodriguez goes down swinging. Beautiful pitch from Cordero to end the 8th. 9th inning. NL's last chance, down 4.
So in conclusion, we chose the high road and we shifted our paradigm. We bolstered sales to an all-time high increase and leveraged our core equities. That's what I call strategilution. Thank you.
Watching athletes do their job is just more fun. Drink Pepsi and play the GoPro sweepstakes. You could win a chance to see the World Series, Daytona 500, and more. Drink Pepsi. GoPro.
This summer, there's only one movie you have to see to believe. War of the Worlds. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
It's the hottest sales event of the summer. Right off with the awesome Honda VTX 1300. Now only $39 a month at 3.9% APR for the first 12 months. Or a fixed APR as low as 6.9% that won't change. And for a limited time, these deals are available on any new Honda motorcycle, ATV, scooter, or watercraft. Plus, get up to $500 in bonus bucks for gear and accessories on select models. So hurry into the Red Hot Summer Festival for great deals at your Honda dealer.
85 years of experience. 50 million customers. And the strength to help keep your family's financial future safe. At home and on the road, the AIG companies help people cover their financial basis. Insurance, loans, retirement. AIG.
Verizon Wireless presents the VCAT C815 from Motorola.
You wanted to be on the cutting edge? This is it.
Get the latest movie trailers.
Go, 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 go.
The coolest 3D games. Oh yeah. Red hot music videos. action-packed sports clips. The Motorola E815 at just $99.99. There's no reason not to make your next phone a VCAT phone. Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Wickman takes over. Sounds of the game with the microphones everywhere tonight from this All-Star game.
Just so you guys know, that was managerial expertise right there.
I don't know what that was. It looked like a sinker, but it didn't come in there like it.
Where you guys open up at? You guys go back home? Florida? Where? Oh, you guys at our place? Ah, you gonna follow me home tonight?
Jimmy Rollins is a beauty. Off go the Marlins, evidently according to those two, to Philadelphia, and Bob Wickman takes over. It's a 4-run game here in the 9th inning. Pitchers of record Mark Burley on the plus side, John Smoltz from Lansing, Michigan on the downside. We play here in the 9th inning, 7-3, the American League on top, and Andrew Jones first up. Ball 1. It'll be Jones, then Rollins' spot, but Luis Gonzalez is in the on-deck circle. Scott Podsednik is now in the game in center. Ichiro's in right. So that means that Terry Francona has used his entire bench. It's 2-0 on Andrew Jones. And now you can hear the necklace bouncing around on the chest of Ivan Rodriguez as he catches with the microphone down there. Here's a 2-0 to Andrew Jones, who hit a mammoth home run into left his first time up. 3-0. Wickman missed the entire 2003 season, Tommy John surgery. 4th highest save percentage across Major League Baseball over the last 5 years, and he gets it in there for strike 1 on Jones. It's 3-1. And a leadoff walk. The most valuable player of tonight's game will be awarded the Ted Williams Trophy, presented by Chevrolet, at the end of tonight's game. After that walk by Wickman, Terry Francona is going to go out and make a change. What does he have left in that bullpen? He has Baez out there. He has B.J. Ryan, who could pop out of that bullpen now with Gonzalez coming up. He's got Rivera and Dukeshire. Who's it going to be? It's B.J. Ryan, the big hard-throwing lefty, coming in. 1 on, nobody out for the NL in the 9th.
Well, late fees made renting a pain.
Yeah, so we started buying all our movies.
Yeah, well, now we have this apartment filled with movies. We've seen maybe like...
We've watched them like once.
Yeah, that was a good move.
Yeah, good move on our part.
Well, anyway, we're back to renting.
Yeah, it's way cheaper.
Yeah, and it takes up a lot less space.
So we have more room for all your stuff.
Renting is better than ever at the new Blockbuster. And with even more copies, these hot DVDs are guaranteed to be there. See participating stores for complete details.
Hey, know who's #1 in wireless? Radio Shack. Our sales associates are #1 in wireless customer satisfaction. That's why we sell more wireless phones than any other consumer electronics retailer. Come see why during our Red Hot Wireless event. Now buy the Sprint PCS phone with built-in speakerphone for only $29.99 and take home a color screen phone free with 2-year agreements on each. Don't settle for second best. The #1 place to buy wireless is right in your neighborhood at Radio Shack.
Imagine this is your baby. If it's snatched, it could end up in a chop shop. Thieves rip up your car and sell it off for parts. They profit while we pay millions in higher insurance rates. That's not right. Allstate's 600-person fraud team is on it, spotting scams like these so ultimately you pay less. Crime doesn't pay. Neither should you. That's Allstate stands. Are you in good hands?
I think when I was younger, I just wanted to come up with a style of my own. The only thing I come with was the leg kick. It becomes a part of you.
I live for this.
First pitch from B.J. Ryan is up and in, high and tight to Luis Gonzalez, who's batting for Jimmy Rollins. Ryan is a closer for the Orioles, and he can bring it. Gonzalez plugs the gap in left center field. The NL is making noise. Digging for third is Andrew Jones. He'll score easily. Gonzalez, a former Tiger, traded away after the '98 season, is in with a double. And all of a sudden, it's a 3-run game, and those visions of a home field advantage for Terry Francona has forced him to get Mariano Rivera up in the American League bullpen.
This hit right here probably hurts Joe Torre of the New York Yankees as much as it hurts Terry Francona, because Joe Torre's call, you talked about it earlier, Joe. Joe Torre's call to Francona, saying if at all possible, he would prefer that Mariano not get in the game, and if he does, only an inning.
Loduca is tied up, cheated out of a swing. Great pitch by Ryan. 1 out. Over to third goes Gonzalez.
See Rodriguez setting up outside, and Loduca, little jam shot, fielded easily by Ryan for the second out.
During the pitching change, when Ryan came in, it poured. And just when we came back from commercial with Ryan ready to go, the rain let up. Some of the fans coming back down into the seats and being creative along the way. Runner at third, 1 out. Here is Carlos Lee. First pitch swinging, chopped to short for Young. 2 out. In to score is Gonzalez. It's a 7-5 game. And here comes Terry Francona. He's not going to mess around. He's seen Rivera dominate. And he's going to call Rivera in for the final out of this All-Star game. Ryan, when he came in out of the bullpen, entered with the rain pounding down here in Detroit. It looked like that. It's let up since. It's a 2-run game, and the AL goes with Mariano Rivera.
The new Crunchwrap Supreme. Classic Taco Bell taste, grilled to go anywhere.
All these check email play MP3s. They're portable, so they're good to go. Even this? That's my lunch. Crunchwrap Supreme. It's good to go, but no email. Oddly enough.
Seasoned beef, warm nacho cheese sauce, a crunchy tostada shell, lettuce, tomatoes, and sour cream, all loaded into a flour tortilla and grilled for maximum portability. For classic Taco Bell tastes that are good to go, think outside the bun.
Remember when Randy Johnson pulverized that bird with his fastball? There was feathers and blood everywhere. The most shocking thing I ever saw. Until I met my daughter's new boyfriend.
This is Hay.
What's up? Hey! That's an interesting name.
It's for Booty.
This kid's name is Booty? He didn't get that nickname by being a good study buddy.
Michael Rappaport stars in The War at Home, premiering Sunday, September 11th after The Simpsons on Fox.
When the FBI needs help,
The corpse was found this morning.
they turn to forensic anthropologist Dr. Temperance Brennan.
What can you tell me?
She's a young woman. The skull is in fragments. This is a crime scene.
This fall, to unravel a murder.
That's pretty cool.
You have to strip it to the bone.
You're great at what you do, Bones, but you don't solve murders. Cops do.
Prove it. Be a cop.
Grab your skull and let's vamoose.
Bones, premiering Tuesday, September 13th on Fox.
I think when I was younger, I just wanted to come up with a style of my own. The only thing I come with was a leg kick. It becomes a part of you. I live for this.
Catch Major League Baseball all season long on Fox. Don't miss it.
From Stephen Bochco Productions.
I don't know if I can explain to you in words what's happening to me.
Over There premieres this month only on FX.
Mariano Rivera takes over with the bases empty, 2 out, 7-5. The AL leading the National League, and the first pitch outside of Morgan Ensberg. And there are the numbers. His last 37 games against the National League. That's either with All-Star Game action, postseason, or interleague play. 37 games, 2 earned runs allowed. And he's putting together another sensational season after having a career high in saves in 2004. Ensberg 0 for 1 tonight. If he gets on, Alou would represent the tying run, but with that kind of stuff from Rivera, the odds are against Ensberg. What a good spot it was for that pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Is this the final pitch of the night? It is. Rivera gets the save. And the American League has now won the last 8 All-Star games. 7-5 is the final. Burley is the winner. John Smoltz is the loser. And Detroit, which has been the host for the All-Star game in 41, 51, 1971, 34 years later, the host here in 2005. It's been a fun night. The AL wins it by 2. The Chevy post-game show is coming up from Detroit on the other side of this break.
I'm Robin Robinson, live in the Fox Newsroom. Next on Fox News, Duck Coach speaks out against a proposed smoking ban in Chicago. Plus, a narrow escape for a boy who was almost thrown out with the trash. And would you pay $100 for a bottle of brew?
Shorty, you know the game about picking and choosing. You don't know when you won. You so used to losing. Move around now, move around now, move around now.
The Big Mac summer deal. When you're moving around this summer, come into McDonald's and buy a delicious Big Mac and tasty large fries and receive a free 42-ounce drink. You couldn't ask for a better summer deal. I'm loving it.
Dave. Hey. What's up? I just opened up a Circle checking account. I'm just going over the stuff I get. Like what? Free debit card, free online banking and bill pay. Free bill pay? Free bill pay. Really? What else? Well, there's free unlimited checks, free traveler's checks. And better rates on CDs, home equity, and money market accounts. You want the sandwich, too? I'm sorry.
The Saab 9.3 with turbocharged performance and an estimated 30 miles per gallon highway. When you ignore the status quo, anything's possible. Saab, distinctively designed, independently inspired. And now with the Saab employee discount for everyone, you pay what we pay, not a cent more.
Put in a stylish new patio or walk with help from Menards. Create a unique and personalized patio, walk, or driveway with Holland pavers. On sale in 6 attractive colors, just 35 cents each. Finish the job with ideal paver locking sand. It keeps pavers in place and resists weeds, insects, and erosion. Only $7.98 a bag. Plus, there's no interest on your purchase till 2007 with your Menards Big Card.
Save big money at Menards.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts or descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
We welcome you to the Chevy MLB All Star post-game show here in Detroit. And let's go down for the MVP trophy presentation to Jeannie Zelasco.
That is right, the Ted Williams Trophy presented by Chevy, and we found our most valuable player, and to present the award, the Commissioner of Baseball.
Thank you very much. My great pleasure to present the Ted Williams Award, memory of the greatest hitter that ever lived, presented by Chevrolet to Miguel Tejada, the most valuable player of the 2005 All-Star Game. Congratulations. Well deserved.
Thank you. I'm really happy and proud to be a star in this game. And I just want to say thank you to all the fans just voting for me to start this game. And that's why I just try to get something good in the game to make those people proud. And I'm really proud. Thank you for for the trophy. And thank you for the fun. And this game, we just do this game for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it.
And of course, the last time the All-Star Game played in Detroit, another Oriole, Greg Robinson, the MVP. I need you to put your hands out for that, and then put your hands out for this. This is about to get really interesting. Ed Pieper, general manager of Chevrolet, the motor division. You don't even know this is coming. Are you ready? Look what he's got for you.
Miguel, on behalf of Chevrolet, all of our Chevrolet dealers, and the great men and women of General Motors, it is our pleasure to present you with the keys to this brand new Chevrolet Corvette. Congratulations.
It's for real.
Well, I don't know how I'm going to say. I just want to say thank you. And, oh, my God, you know, woo.
You make your way over to your car, and as I talk to you about this, putting the Mo into Motown tonight, and the Mojo, you can touch it, it's real, in the American League with that blast in the second inning. Can you take us through it?
Yeah, it's real. You know, the cars were nice. You know, I'm happy for that. Thank you. And I think just more happy to be in this day today. And I think my family is real happy. I think everybody in Baltimore is really happy, and all the fans in baseball, they see what we're doing today. And the last thing that I have to say is just thank you for everybody. Thank you, all the people in baseball, and you know, I appreciate it.
All right, one more thing, and finally, you know, you got the keys, you got the hardware, but maybe more importantly, you got home field advantage in the postseason for the American League. You're going to get the Orioles back into contention for that.
Well, I hope we made it this year. You know, we're going to play hard in the second half, and now if we made it, you know, we're going to have the home field advantage. I hope they come this year to Baltimore. And I just want to say, God, thank you for the opportunity, and, you know, I'm really proud of myself, and, you know, I'm really happy. Thank you.
All right, congratulations. The entire family is waiting to pile into the vet. Joe, back to you. It's yours.
All right, Jeannie, thank you very much. For a moment there, we had a speechless MVP. He gets the new Corvette. Tejada gets the MVP, the Ted Williams Trophy. That belongs to Miguel Tejada. Home field advantage in the World Series belongs to the American League. More interviews on the other side of the break as the Chevy postgame show continues.
If you missed the big Chevy employee discount for everyone, you're in luck. We've extended the program, giving you a second chance to take advantage of employee pricing on almost every 05 Chevy vehicle. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. The Chevy employee discount for everyone. Hurry, offer ends August 1st. The Chevy employee discount for everyone. See your local Chevy dealer before August 1st.
The official bank of Little League Baseball. The official bank of Minor League Baseball. The official bank of Major League Baseball. Bank of America, the official bank of baseball.
Fox River State Penitentiary. Most men would do anything to get out. But Michael Schofield will do anything he can to get in. Put down your weapon! Fox presents an inescapable new thriller.
I'm getting you out of here. It's impossible. Not if you design the place, it isn't.
Prison Break, premiering Monday, August 29th on Fox.
We welcome you back to the Chevy postgame show. 9 innings and 9 great prizes, but one winner took home the biggest prize of the day. The same car as the 2005 All-Star Game MVP, Miguel Tejada. FoxSports.com and MLB.com thank the thousands who participated in the 9-9 sweepstakes presented by Chevrolet. For more, let's go down to Kevin Kennedy.
Thanks, John, with Mark Teixeira. Now, you know, last night, only a couple home runs in the home run hitting contest, but tonight is when it counted, and right-handed. You know, they said you couldn't hit right-handed anymore for power. What's going on your home runs with left-handed? Take us through the feeling.
It's a great feeling. You know, I was just kind of fouling a lot of pitches off. Got to 3-2. Don Shaw threw a high fastball, and, you know, I got enough of it.
Now, answer about the left-handed, right-handed thing, because, you know, you're the starting first baseman for the American League. You're up and coming. We talked about newcomers this year in the All-Star Game, 22 of you guys. And what a thrill, obviously, to start. But to take us through left-handed and right-handed, what the difference is and how tough it can be.
Well, you know, left-handed right now, I'm getting a lot more at-bats. I feel a little more locked in. My right-handed swing, just I need to get more comfortable and get a few more at-bats. And tonight, you know, I just felt comfortable in the box. And hopefully this is going to start some good things for me right-handed.
Well, we're going to see a lot of you in the future, Mark. Good luck the second half. You're having a nice season, obviously. Take care. All right, buddy. Bye-bye. Joe, let's go back upstairs.
Kevin, thank you very much. And thanks and congratulations to Mark Teixeira. He got the start, first-time All-Star, and he goes deep off Dontrell Willis, part of the 7-5 win for the American League. A lot of smiles, a lot of stars on display here in Detroit. We have more for you as our Chevy MLB All-Star postgame show continues from Detroit on the other side of this break after the AL wins it, a final of 7-5.
The official bank of Little League Baseball. The official bank of Minor League Baseball. The official bank of Major League Baseball. Bank of America, the official bank of baseball.
Hey, know who's #1 in wireless? Radio Shack. Our sales associates are #1 in wireless customer satisfaction. That's why we sell more wireless phones than any other consumer electronics retailer. Come see why during our Red Hot Wireless event. Now buy the Sprint PCS phone with built-in speakerphone for only $29.99 and take home a color screen phone free with 2-year agreements on each. Don't settle for second best. The #1 place to buy wireless is right in your neighborhood at Radio Shack.
Thank you for joining me today as we mourn the loss of our dear friend.
May everything always stay as perfect as it is right now.
Every episode is a new year.
Have you seen that before?
It's been a long time ago.
That brings you one step closer to the truth. Reunion, Unravel the Mystery, premiering Thursday, September 8th on Fox.
She's great at freestyling, but can she do this?
Oh my God, they can't be serious.
This summer, the dance craze is just beginning, and who could do it better than the creator of American Idol? So You Think You Can Dance, premiering Wednesday, July 20th on Fox.
It's the Full Tilt Poker.net Championship at Wynn Las Vegas. Live and unedited. This week, live on FSN.
Our Chevy All-Star post-game show continues from Detroit. Last September, Detroit was the host of the Ryder Cup at Oakland Hills. They've had the NBA Finals here the last couple of years. They have the Super Bowl coming up at the end of this upcoming football season. And now for the 4th time, Detroit the host for the All-Star Game. We saw a lot tonight. We came on the air talking about the pitching and about the hitting, and the hitting for the American League stepped up front and center, did their thing, and Miguel Tejada got that thing started.
Yeah, we talked about the relentless and powerful lineup of the American League, and you think about Miguel Tejada. He had to quit school when he was 11 years old to go to work in the Dominican Republic in a garment factory to help support his family, and here he is driving away in a new Corvette.
So he is part of the Baltimore Orioles. Now, along with the rest of the teams in the big leagues, look ahead to the second half of the season. There's the home run off John Smoltz, the eventual loser in this game. And Tejada was all smiles before, during, and after this one as he walks away or drives away as the MVP of this 76th All-Star Game. Saturday, Tim and I will be in Boston for the Yankees and the Red Sox. Other games, the White Sox and Indians, Giants and Dodgers. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. For Tim McCarver, Jeannie Zelasco, Kevin Kennedy, Pete Macheska, our producer Bill Webb, our director, and the thousands who helped bring this game to you from Detroit. We've had a lot of fun. Next year the game is in Pittsburgh. This Saturday, we'll talk at you on the Fox Saturday Baseball Game of the Week. The 76 Major League Baseball All-Star Game has been a presentation of Fox Sports, your home for the 2005 baseball postseason. And now after tonight, after this 7-5 win, the World Series home field advantage belongs to the American League. From Detroit, good night.